Stick with me here. You and I are about to watch an absolute masterclass. Xiaoling froze in surprise. He spotted us, but zero hostility. Xiao Yu gently patted little Xiao Jing's head. See? Mr. Yun is perfectly fine. He's pulling off the impossible again. Like usual, let's hold our ground and jump in if things get messy. Meanwhile, back in the actual clash, Yun Chen realized Latia absolutely had to go. Bottom line, take out the female lord first. Her unique armament was an absolute nightmare, so he shot a tiny fireball straight at Latia. She just flashed her displacement ring. Still spamming basic skills? Little boy, do you really underestimate your big sister that much? And just like that, she triggered her swap technique again, exactly as expected. Yun Chen's fire bounced directly back at his face. But he didn't even flinch. He just channeled his aura and rapid-fired 3 separate attacks. Rapid cast, double cast, fireball. Countless blazing strikes flew at Latia at lightning speed, but she leaned on her gear. She didn't even bother dodging Yun Chen's barrage, trying to overwhelm me with pure numbers. How adorable. Throw a million, I will shift them all. And sure enough, every single hit he threw got instantly reflected right back. The spot where Yun Chen stood was blasted into absolute dust. The explosive force blew a massive crater in the arena. Watching from the sidelines, Xiao Yu and Xiao Ling were sweating bullets. Mr. Yun is literally playing with fire. Unless an attack shatters her limit, Latia's armament reflects everything. You absolutely cannot beat her with raw brute force. Xiao Jing screamed. But pay attention here, because this is where everything flips. Yun Chen was spotless, using the smoke to charge Latia. She was completely caught off guard. What on earth? He tanked that entire fiery blast without a single scratch. In a total blur, Yun Chen appeared right in Latia's face. He poured maximum power into his plundering hand. Too bad for you. My fire resistance is totally maxed out. I can eat my own flames all day and take 0 damage. Shift that. It is absolutely useless. Game over. Yun Chen launched himself forward with explosive speed, raising a heavy fist for the final blow. But instead of pure terror, a twisted, scornful smile crept up her face. Tell me, little boy, didn't you forget something crucial? Before he could even blink, Carlos and Piero charged in, weapons drawn. Did you seriously think we were invisible? But to absolute shock, Yun Chen casually blocked both of their fierce strikes. Total damage taken? Big fat 0. Still, Latia looked completely smug. Game over? Do not make me laugh. Piero and Carlos know exactly how vital their big sister is. They know exactly who the VIP is. Charging in, swinging wildly, trying to take me out first. Smart move, kid, but you got massive tunnel vision. Unexpectedly, Yun Chen just smirked back, not sweating it. Tunnel vision on you? Please. You and I both saw the trap, right? She stared so hard she missed the shadow creeping up behind her. The tables flipped instantly. Piero screamed loudly. Latia, watch your back, move. In a split second, dust violently exploded right where she stood. Latia was completely swallowed by the creeping shadow. She whipped around, screaming in total panic. Damn it, he has clone skills too. When the hell did he set that up? Yun Chen casually shrugged. Back when you tried using my own attacks against me, specifically, right when those roaring flames blocked your vision. That is when I slipped my shadow fiend directly into my own shadow. Conveniently enough, it is an expert at staying hidden, so grabbing you from behind, absolute piece of cake. Latia struggled to look up at his face. He can hide in shadows and summon clones? That is an ultra-rare combo, but the real terror hit her a second later. That was just a clone, and it totally overpowered her. Just how godlike are his real stats? Yun Chen stared down with ice in his eyes. Without her reflection ability, none of you stand a chance against me. So, are you going to kneel and surrender or what? Suddenly, Baha opened his jaw wide, inhaling some bizarre purple smoke. You have to be kidding me. It is not over yet. Instantly, a massive dark mist exploded outward, catching everyone completely blind. Yun Chen just casually glanced around, completely unfazed. Using thick fog to blind me? Are you really that terrified of my night vision? It does not matter. Totally useless anyway. My magic echo is already active. A perfect fusion of mage mana, surge, and mechanic echolocation. Every single move you make is mine. Baha frantically dashed straight for Latia. This guy is ridiculously overpowered. I need to free Latia, or we are absolute dead meat. He instantly buffed his weapon with the Dark Knight Giant Hammer skill, roaring loudly. Get lost. Yuchi clone. At that exact second, Yun Chen rushed in, fusing the martial artist's ice fist with the strawman's full power strike. His devastating ice split sky instantly blocked the massive blow. The heavy hammer could not handle the impact and started violently cracking. Baha was speechless. Say what? In a fraction of a second, it shattered into pieces. He gritted his teeth. No way. My skill was completely maxed out. This kid's raw power is way beyond Demon Lord level. And we were actually stupid enough to challenge him. So, what do you and I take away from this? Submit or die. Hearing that cold threat, Baha threw his ego away and dropped fast. Stick with me here. Because he finally surrenders, realizing that fighting further means instant death. Watching from behind, Carlos screams in pure disbelief, calling Baha a total coward. But Yunchen just shoots him a cold glare. And what about you? Lachia quickly forces a totally fake smile. Sweating bullets, she decides to submit too, figuring that bowing down to someone with the awakened eye of the night really is not the worst fate. The crowd is completely shook right now. How is this even possible? Two powerful lords just surrendered to a traitor. This guy hoarded all his resources, completely ignoring the clan's survival. And now he is actually about to become their king? We are absolutely screwed. The Dark Knight Demon clan is finished. Carlos roars in absolute fury. You have got to be kidding. If he takes the throne, our entire nation will crumble. I, Carlos, would rather die right here than ever bow down. But mentally, he is panicking. He pushed things way too far, and there is no turning back. Below, his guards start furiously chanting, "Damn traitor, you have absolutely zero right to be king. Only Lord Carlos truly cares about our clan. He is the only one who deserves the throne. Following you is a guaranteed death sentence." A huge sea of arms shoots up in loud protest. Get down from there. We refuse to die with you. You are completely unqualified to be king. Get the hell down. Little Ling quietly sizes up the entire chaotic situation. Those noisy protesters are just Carlos's personal guards. Looks like it is finally time to step in. Instantly, the two of them dash right in front of Yunchen. In a flash, Little Yu and Little Ling reveal their true, terrifying forms. What if we accept him as our king? The crowd immediately starts to waver. Wait, that is Lord Lyola and Lord Bella. You and I both know they were the strongest ancient demon lords. So why did they just randomly show up out of nowhere? Were they not captured by humans as slaves? Little Yu just tilts her chin and scoffs. Slaves? That is hilarious. Little Ling announces, looking visibly annoyed. Years ago, we completely faked our surrender. We just wanted to infiltrate the humans and finally find a real chance to avenge the Night Queen. Little Yu adds, and now we did it. So we are back. Carlos furiously points a shaking finger right at them. Now, you are siding with this traitor? You want to destroy our nation too? He curses inwardly. Damn it all. Where the hell did these two women even crawl out from? As soon as he stops talking, his loyal guards start rioting again. Lord Carlos is totally right. They must be spies. Others quickly join the massive shouting match. Lord Carlos is right. Anyone protecting a traitor is a traitor themselves. Get off the stage. Suddenly, dark green fire flares up right inside Yunchen's palm. Looks like winning the hearts of the people is not going to be easy. If that is how it is, I will do this the hard way. Little Ling quickly rushes to stop him. Wait, they are still our own kind. They have just been brainwashed. Mr. Yun, please show some mercy. Suddenly, Little Yu gets an idea. Actually, there is a super simple way to handle this mess. Right then, Carlos leads his troops into a massive charge. Guards, lords, citizens who crave peace. The time to sacrifice for our country is now. Charge. Kill the traitor. The crowd gets absolutely hyped up. I do not care how strong he is. We have the numbers to crush him dead. He is a dangerous traitor, bringing total disaster to our nation. Kill him. People start attacking Yunchen from literally every single side. His hair hides his face. But trust me, here is where it gets absolutely insane. Watch closely as his eyes suddenly snap wide open. Power fully unleashed. Eye of the Night. An intense, suffocating pressure explodes out, instantly turning everyone completely to stone. Pure terror washes over them as they realize they cannot move a single muscle. The only time they ever felt this kind of terrifying pressure was from the legendary Night Queen herself. Seeing Yunchen standing there so arrogant, the terrifying truth hits them. The Eye of the Night. Only the true king can use that ability. Seeing everything completely frozen, conquering entire armies without even throwing a punch. That is the Eye of the Night. This was the ultimate legend of the Night Queen, the power that made the Dark Knight demons stand tall among all 72 clans. Worshipped by absolutely everyone. Even though history has seen tons of kings rule the Dark Knight clan, only 3 of them ever managed to awaken this god-tier ability. That is a tiny number compared to all the kings we have had. Meaning, Just because you take the throne does not guarantee you get the eye, but anyone who awakens the eye of the night, they're absolutely destined to be king. Yun Chen stands there radiating pure, unmatched authority. His cold voice rings out, anyone else got a problem? But honestly, he is completely exhausted inside. Too many targets frozen, my dark magic drained way faster than I thought. Suddenly, one of the demon descendants shouts out excitedly, that is the Eye of the Night, the ultimate symbol of the king. Everyone else starts cheering like crazy. How could anyone argue with that? Even Carlos's personal guards do not dare talk trash anymore. The message is loud and perfectly clear. All those other lords are absolutely nothing compared to the future king. Carlos feels a terrifying chill run down his spine. Using the eye on such a massive scale. So, what do you and I take from this? The massive mana drain makes this time freeze trick basically useless in a real fight. Alright, you and I are diving right into the chaos. Why would he even use that crazy option? Wait, could it be? Seeing Xiaoling and Xiaoyu standing right beside Yun Chen? It hit him like a freight train. He gritted his teeth, absolutely furious. Damn it. Lioba and Bella must have leaked everything to him, trying to play us for absolute fools. The Eye of Night plan flashed through his head. The game was totally over, leaving him with just one way out. He made a split-second choice. This demon lord was about to bail and run for his life. But Yun Chen? He already saw right through the escape act, eyes wide. He triggered the Eye of Night, completely freezing Carlos in midair. No way out. Gravity took over, sending him into a dead drop. Boom. A massive shockwave rang out as his face slammed directly into the solid dirt. Yun Chen laid down the law, totally deadpan. Listen up, Carlos's lackeys. You locked up my steward and guards, without asking. That is an absolute death sentence. Then he played the generous king. But since the kingdom is weak, and we need bodies, I will let you redeem yourselves. He glared down. Carlos was stuck, completely frozen stiff. Zero fight left in him. Yun Chen tossed him to the guards. How you handle him? That is entirely up to you. His very own guards turned on him instantly. Sorry, Lord Carlos. Your biggest mistake was framing the brand new king. We gave you years of our lives. Now it is your turn to save ours. Pure terror hit him, and he screamed, no, do not do this, please. Total absolute horror filled his eyes as they swarmed him. No, stop it right now. Now, watch this next part closely. Yun Chen walked right up to the highest throne, stomped on the final step, sat down, and made it official. Starting right now, I am the new king of the Black Knight demons. Xiaoling and Xiaoyu dropped to their knees first, bowing to the new monarch. Instantly, an entire sea of guards and demon lords bowed, in perfect sync. The whole kingdom joined in, shouting praises for the Black Knight monarch. Just like that, Yun Chen officially took the throne as the Black Knight monarch, securing the 72nd spot among the demon pillars. The news spread like wildfire, hitting every dark corner of the world and sparking massive outrage from demon factions everywhere. Outsider demons were absolutely furious. Black Knight monarch? Sounds super fancy, does it not? Some literal nobody pops up out of nowhere and calls himself king. The Black Knight demons are totally washed up if they think they belong with the 72 tribes. Absolute joke. Over at the 72 Pillars conference, monarchs from everywhere gathered, buzzing with crazy gossip. Naturally, somebody had to mention the news about the new Black Knight monarch. You and I know exactly where this is going. The second pillar, the Lord of Devouring, spoke up, skipping right past the small talk. Maybe we will be seeing him sitting right here soon. Mocking laughter rained down from every single direction. Lord of Devouring, are you seriously letting him join the conference meant strictly for the 72 demon pillars? Does that kid even have the right? Beating up a few random lords makes him a king now? Since when did the 72 pillars get this ridiculously cheap? The Black Knight demons do not even have a single venerable tier fighter. Pure luck. I completely refuse to accept this garbage. Duani suddenly broke her silence. Why not just erase the Black Knight tribe entirely and let a stronger clan steal their spot? The 21st pillar. Duani the Exterminator smiled coldly like it was basic math. Wasting a seat in the 72 on them is totally pointless. The Lord of Devouring nodded right back. True. Thanks to that human, Xinqiang. The Black Knight demons lost heavy hitters, but their roots are deep. Give them land, and sooner or later, they will breed new monsters. He thought about the newly hyped Yun Chen and broke it down. Even better, we are still completely at war with humanity. Mid and low-tier demons make up the absolute bulk of the frontline meat shields. Get this. Their actual battlefield value totally crushes whatever those smaller clans offer, as long as they cough up enough war resources for the Dark World. I do not care who plays king. His voice dropped completely dead. If the void demon and the first pillar were around, they would back me up. Instantly, the other pillars erupted, sounding like a chaotic market. Literally, nobody knows where the first pillar vanished to lately. We have not seen a single shadow from his entire clan either. The void demon is worse. Not a single trace of him since the 72 kingdoms got split. Everything now totally hangs on the Lord of Devouring. He holds absolute power. Smirking at the roaring crowd, he just casually controlled the whole room. If you actually want my authority, step up and take it. Assuming you have the guts to even try. Bam. The whole room went graveyard silent. The meeting wrapped up, and Lottie was left sitting there, completely salty over the result. This is a complete joke. He is just a standard demon lord. Why does he get to stand on the same level as Lady Exterminator? That is where we leave it. She sipped her tea. The Lord spoke. No arguing allowed. Let's dive in. The Black Knight demons? They have a rock-solid foundation. Even without top-tier fighters lately, their war supply drops never missed. Her eyes narrow. But this Black Knight monarch, also known as Lord Wuji, he is a massive problem. Thinking back, his grand entrance was beyond weird. It is like he literally spawned right out of the void. First, he crashes Shiluke Fortress, absolutely wrecks the old lord, Bodhi, and claims the throne for himself in seconds. Fast forward 1 year, he is ruling it all. She adds, plus, I heard he completely dodges paying war tributes. 0 soldiers drafted from his turf, too. Before all this, not one local knew Wuji even existed. Lee frowns hard. These clues are sketchy. Maybe he was just some hermit grinding in the beast zones. Rare for demons, sure, but definitely not impossible. Raised killing beasts, meaning his raw combat stats are totally broken, but 0 social skills means he stayed off the radar until now. Duan kicks her legs. That is possible. But honestly, I have an even crazier theory right now, she explains. Exactly 1 year ago, human players, Yung Chen and Lumia Ling, were teleported straight over to us. They dropped right in our Duani territory. So it was our job to wipe them out. She stands up. I sent Kalata. The hunt totally failed. But instead, we discovered the Forbidden Mountain range was suddenly wide open. Since that zone is crazy important, I dropped the chase entirely. But wait. She points at the map as everything suddenly clicks. The opposite exit of that mountain range drops you right into Black Knight Demon Turf. And the absolute closest base there? Silo Castle. Lahi is absolutely stunned by this wild coincidence. Now, pay close attention. You think the Dark King is actually Yun Chen? No way. He reeks of dark energy. Even the lowest demon spawns watching him fight could tell he is definitely not a human being. Truth honestly does not matter here. Sometimes you just need a fake excuse to declare all-out war. If he rules and still ignores the war tribute, we just use this rumor as our excuse. He will learn his lesson. Lady Slayer, Duan is beyond hyped now. That kingdom might have an emperor aura, but stealing the Dark Knight capital is an absolute steal right now. Baha cannot hide his hype. My lord actually took the throne. I have waited forever for this. His guards are going absolutely crazy. Yun Chen just smirks back. Relax. I will make sure everyone gets paid out. Those 3 demon lords crushed this kingdom under their thumbs for way too long. For the heavy hitter spots, I am using my own loyal guards. You guys tracking with me? The guy scrambles to prove his loyalty. Do not worry, boss. Give me 1 month. I will pack the capital with our trusted crew. Total control will be yours. Yun Chen reaches out. Perfect. I am leaving this in your hands. Dismissed. The guy bows respectfully. Yes, sir. Yun Chen stands up. Oh, hey, Xiao and Xiaoling. What is with the random pop-up? Did Teacher Xia send you 2 here? You nailed it. We have 2 big quests. First is finding Mr. Yun and Miss Lu Mao Ling to carry you guys back home. I know what you are thinking. What is the second quest? To activate Master's hidden Dark World trump card. Yun Chen looks totally lost. What trump card? Xiao hesitates. Well, about that. Xiaoling steps up. We have to clear it with Master before dropping those spoilers on you, Mr. Yan. He is instantly hooked. Hold up. You guys can actually call Teacher Xia? A massive spatial barrier blocks this entire world. Zhao hits him with a cheeky grin. Yeah, normal human magic absolutely fails here. But what about literal god power? She flexes a crazy artifact. This god tier item cost a major sacrifice. Calling Master is literal child's play now. Item stats? Phantom Star Mirror. Ignores all zone restrictions. Anyone holding it chats freely. A literal god drop. Suddenly, Ching Chang pops up. Xiao Yu Xiaoling. Looking for me? Jia Yu Yu lights up instantly. Master, look. We found Mr. Yun. He is completely broken now. Literally became one of the 72 demon pillars. Yun Chen waves. Yo, teacher Xia, long time no see. Qing Chen is totally speechless. One of the 72 demon pillars? That is pure madness. You have to drop the lore. After hearing the deeds, she nods. So, that is how it played out. The Dark Kingdom is messy, but wiping 3 demon lords? That is an insane level jump. It kills me that I am not there. Yun Chen, I would drop a huge reward on you. Yun Chen keeps grinning. Teacher, Xia, you are way too generous. You have buffed me enough. But seriously, I am totally blind out here right now. How is the human frontline? Her face drops. Terrible. And that is where we leave it today. That is exactly why I sent Xiao and Xiaoling to bring you and Luma back here. Let's dive right back in. She wanted to throw them into the battlefield for training. But honestly, staying in this dark world is the smarter play. Yun Chen totally gets it. Wait, teacher Xia, you mean? She gets straight to the point. The absolute best way to take pressure off the front lines? Make those demon spawns fight a massive civil war. Exactly. But she admits she has no clue what his actual power level is right now. Yun Chen plays it straight. Facing a demon sovereign? Yeah, that gets kinda dicey. But anyone below that top sovereign tier? He can absolutely crush them. In his head, he is hyped. Rocking a full legendary gear set means max confidence. But hearing that out loud? Both Xiaoyu and Xiaoling absolutely freak out. Oh crap. Mr. Yan just dropped an insane claim. He basically just declared that nobody below a demon sovereign can even touch him. Did he forget what level master is actually at? Qing just bursts out laughing. Interesting. Oh, very interesting. Xiaoyu, Xiaoling, take him to that spot. I am going to give our boy a little pop quiz. Now, pay close attention here. As they head down this creepy tunnel, the sisters are already pitying the guy. Oh, Mr. Yan, you are about to suffer big time. Or Mr. Yan. Yunshin just sighs. Come on, it cannot be that bad, right? His brain starts working. Wait, does teacher Xia want to fight me herself? Hold up, he remembers. Even with her legendary battle record, she is technically only at the 3rd transfer stage. That is definitely below a demon sovereign. But fighting her directly? Yeah, all his confidence instantly vanishes. Xiaoling honestly does not even know how to respond. I am not really sure. Xiao quickly changes the subject. By the way, mister, where did you even go when you first dropped into this dark world? We searched everywhere for you. He casually dodges the heavy question. Oh, that? I just took a quick trip out to the endless desert, just some light training and treasure hunting. But inside his head, he is thinking something entirely different. Definitely better not mention the wild void stuff. There is zero chance I can explain Kongbei's weird designs or my system. He flashes back to his insane fight with that mini shell of illusory destruction. That entire situation was an absolute waking nightmare. I almost got completely erased by the world's laws, just trying to fuse dark magic. And then the void just spit me out. I was massively nerfed back then. I could not even handle those random monsters popping up everywhere, so it turned into a frantic chase scene. Thank God my stats are way higher now. Even in that totally weakened state, I could still move. Seriously, between chugging potions like an absolute madman and using the terrain, I barely kept running. Looking back, that completely sucked. But obviously, I was not running blindly. I mapped out a route to herd all those ugly monsters together. Finally, I popped my set skill and literally nuked the entire mob in one single shot. He gives himself a wry smile. Right before more monsters could even spawn, I dove straight into the entrance of the Void City. You feel that tension, right? Talk about dodging a bullet. One wrong step, absolute toast. Finally, the trio reaches their actual destination. Xiao, you stop right in front. Mr. Yun, we made it. Yun Chen reaches out and touches the glowing circle on the massive door. This protective magic circle is insane. I can already tell I would not be able to break it on my own. Who even set this up? And where exactly are we? She is already standing right in the center of the door, activating it. Our master set this up. Obviously, behind this magic array is the Dark Knight Empress's actual treasure vault. Yun Chen just stares, totally and completely dumbfounded. I cannot believe the 3 great demon lords never snagged this epic treasure trove. It actually survived untouched until now. Xiaoling quickly explains from the side. The magic circle our master set up has a crazy stealth effect. Mr. Yun, you can only see it because we brought you here. Finally, the heavy door swings open after Xiaoyu speaks. Let's head inside. Master's test is inside, too. Deep in the shadows, someone has been waiting for who knows how long. And the absolute shocker? That person is actually King Qing. Yun Chen steps up and forcefully pushes the huge inner door wide open. She immediately snaps her head around, spots him, and bam! Before a single word is spoken, she launches a deadly sword strike dripping with pure killing intent. Die, demon. Xiao Yu frantically rushes in to stop her. Master, wait. He is not a demon. He is the actual disciple you took in after going back to the human world. You absolutely cannot kill him. Yun Chen freezes, sweating bullets. That speed was insane. I could not even see it, let alone dodge. The clone Qing Qing cannot believe it. Me? Take a disciple? Like I have time for that garbage. She just glares intensely. Xiaolu, Xiaoling, you know the brutal consequences of lying to me, right? Xiao Yu just gives a nervous, wry smile. Mistress, we definitely still want to live a few more years. Xiaoling smiles as she quickly chimes in. By the way, it has been 4 whole years since you were stationed here. Our actual names are Xia, Yu, and Xiaoling now. Master personally gave us those brand new names after returning to the human world. Xiao does not forget to whip out the legendary illusion star mirror. If you do not trust us, at least trust yourself. Remembering back then, they really had not known the master very long. Even after signing the soul contract, they had not fully earned their master's absolute trust just yet. The original version of Qing Chang finally appears in the mirror to clear things up. Yes, he really is my student. He is my favorite student over the twins. Trust me, you and I gotta see what happens next. Alright, stick with me here. This clone of Qing Chang still looks totally cold. Fine, I trust you. But this makes zero sense. Even as your exact copy, I know our absolute power. Taking on some random disciple? A total waste of time, she replies, sounding super annoyed. I used to think exactly like that. But things went completely sideways. I had zero choice and needed to pass the torch. Fast. Don't overthink the details. Just do me a solid and test out this kid's actual strength first. Go ahead and hit hard. Just don't kill him. Meanwhile, Yun Chen is standing there completely lost. What is happening? Why is Miss Xia inside this Dark Knight Empress vault? She should absolutely be up in the human world. Is this version of Miss Xia just a clone? But they literally just said something about 4 whole years passing. How does a clone survive that long? The clone, Qing Cheng, stares at him. Facing this crazy situation, he is still calm, guessing the absolute truth. He loves that sharp mindset. No wonder the original called him her absolute favorite. Xiao Yu totally confirms Yun Chen's theory. You nailed it. This master is indeed a clone, but it is not just some basic skill effect. She literally used a god-tier item to make her. This clone holds all of Master's insane power from 4 years back, flashing back to Qing Cheng's epic journey years ago. Watch closely. Here is the crazy part. Master destroyed the Dark Knight Empress and found her massive treasure. Xiao explains the big catch. Unfortunately, this massive vault was locked tight with a special seal. She could not crack it open quickly. Master had to spawn this clone, dropping a heavy protective magic circle around her to avoid interruptions, while the main body went off to conquer other nations. Glancing at the 4-year-old Qing Cheng clone, she adds, right after that, Master took critical damage and had to retreat back to the human world. This exact clone was left behind in the vault. But wild enough, she accidentally became an ultimate trump card. The clone stares up at the massive locked door. Huge pity. I still cannot crack this vault open. Raw strength will not work here. You absolutely have to trigger some very specific conditions first. Unless I smash the whole place, which destroys all the loot. Hearing this, Yun Chen is stunned. A clone holding 100% of the original's power for 4 straight years? That god-tier item is beyond broken. He reflects on his own skills. Even his shadow ghost heavily nerfs his stats, though it copies his skills. It does not even come close to this absolute madness. Qing Cheng turns back, shutting him down. Don't overhype it. I have a massive flaw. Anyway, enough talking. Time to expose your real strength. Boom. Yun Chen instantly draws his blade. He takes a battle stance, feeling super honored but extremely curious. You feeling this? We finally get to see Miss Xia's actual power from 4 years ago. Qing Cheng stands right across from him, anticipation heavy in her voice. It has been boring as hell rotting in here for 4 straight years. Hopefully, a disciple like you brings me some actual entertainment. I won't go all out, obviously. This is just a warm-up test. Faint blue energy explodes from her body, gearing up for the clash. Force me to draw my blade, and it is your victory. Name, Xia Qingcheng. Class, Frostblade Swordsman. Level 90. Her stats, completely unknown and off the charts. Skills, unknown. Yun Chen frowns, annoyed. A swordsman refusing her blade? Even if you are Miss Xia, I refuse to be looked down on. Boom! He instantly triggers a beginner magic swordsman skill, Mirage Walk, spawning countless illusions everywhere. Qingcheng calmly crosses her arms, stepping back. You do not even know my moves yet, but you choose a head-on clash? No idea how my original body trained you, but that is way too reckless. But she totally misses the purple tentacles quietly slithering right up from the floor. Those long tentacles lock tight around her legs. Beginner druid skill. Vine Wrap. Qingcheng looks down, totally surprised. The shape is slightly weird, but this is absolutely the druid's Vine Wrap skill. She glares at Yunchen, completely puzzled, but he is clearly holding a sword, and he just popped a swordsman technique. What on earth is this crazy situation? He shoots toward her like a literal arrow, sword slashing down violently from above. Miss Xia, seems you are the one misreading your opponent. Suddenly, the vine-wrapped spot freezes solid and instantly shatters into icy chunks. Ice shards blast everywhere. Yunchen watches it happen, completely clueless about her move. He stares at the shattered ice blocks, mind blown. She broke free, and that definitely looks like an ice attribute skill. Qingcheng scans his power with an appraisal skill. Oh, you have not officially changed classes yet. So that explains everything. No wonder you can spam skills from entirely different classes. Your stats are insanely high, too, she smirks, dusting off her frozen legs. Looks like my main body found a rare disciple. Xia Qingcheng is actually complimenting him. Your skill power is beyond beginner. Trust me, you and I know a crazy talent when we see one. Guess fighting normal won't cut it. Right as she says that, glowing blue snowflakes suddenly erupt right under her feet. You and I are about to see a wild showdown. She rushes Yunchen, dragging massive ice chunks. Time to raid boss him. She runs literal circles around him, pure after images. Yunchen is in serious trouble here. She is way too fast. Just a total blur. Before he can even blink, she closes in. He seriously thought he had her figured out. He glances sideways, sensing heavy, killing intent. But then a voice whispers from right behind him. He freezes. Too bad. You guessed wrong. Yunchen was completely focused on the front. Zero time to react to his blind spot. A divine flash strike comes crashing straight down. It hits with absolutely terrifying power. Smoke everywhere. But his opponent just vanishes on contact. Yun barely escapes with his life. He watches her, totally impressed. Insane speed. Without divine flash, I would have been completely wiped out. Cai Qingcheng has to give him props. Spatial type skills? Now that is interesting. He instantly teleports away. But boom, she appears right behind him again. Sorry kid, this fight is far from over. A massive ice block erupts from the ground, violently knocking him back. Yunchen is caught totally off guard. Who knew she could use raw speed to outrun a teleport? That is just ridiculously broken. Giving him zero time to breathe, Xia Qingcheng launches up, ready to stomp him. She is definitely not done. She stomps down with such insane raw power, it blows a massive crater. Yunchen coughs up black blood. His physical body seriously cannot handle these absolutely brutal hits. You saw that too, right? Xia Qingcheng looks at him lying there, actually impressed. Not gonna lie, you take a beating well. Is it because of that full body gear? She takes a wild guess. Did the main body gift you legendary armor? Isn't that rushing things? Yunchen flashes a weak smile. Don't get it twisted. Instructor Xia just values my combat training. The real reward is growing stronger. He rolls over, struggling to sit straight up. I actually gathered this armor myself. Suddenly, tiny patches of frost start forming on his bare hand, rapidly spreading straight up his arm. This is the snow dance step from the legendary Ice Soul Dancer hidden class. Every single movement leaves a dangerous frost zone. One touch, and you freeze solid. Now Yunchen finally gets it. All that crazy movement earlier? She was just laying down frost zones to completely box him in and kill his dodge range. That heavy aerial attack was the exact same trick. She totally meant to stomp him directly into the ice. Wait, isn't Instructor Xia a blizzard swordsman? How the hell is she using Ice Soul Dancer abilities? Watching him struggle, she casually announces it is over. He stays quiet, but suddenly, huge tentacles start rising up all around them. His fusion skill. The creeping roots, tentacles and roots violently twist together, shattering right through the ice trap. Giant python coil. Xia Qingcheng taps a tentacle. Oh, you can't even move. Using vines to rip yourself out? Interesting strategy. And those green flames are actually melting my ice. He watches the intense green fire radiating from him. She even gave you the nether demon flame? Talk about playing heavy favorites. Yunchen is not quitting. If I can't match her speed, I'll back up and just spam heavy AoE attacks. Watch closely. This gets wild. He combines his fusion skills, Fireball, Qiong Rapid Bullets, Water Arrow, and a Lightning Enchantment. Eat this. He unleashes an explosive Qi Flame Barrage and Thunderbolt Arrow Rain, sending a massive fiery wave straight at her. But Xiangchang won't back down. She fires multiple heavy ice blocks from afar. I'll play along. Fire and ice violently clash, triggering an absolutely massive explosion. Heavy smoke fills the arena. Nobody is backing up. Yun Chen is totally doubting himself now. That was my best fusion skill, neutralized instantly. Plus, a Blizzard Swordsman is supposed to be a pure melee class. Even for ranged moves, she should be spamming Qi slashes. What the hell are these insane ice bullets? Before the smoke even clears, she dashes right out. Increasing distance was smart, but hanging high up like that, her fist is already inches from his face. You're just a sitting duck. But he flashes a sinister grin, totally confident. We will see who the real target is. He suddenly summons a shadow clone, stabbing a knife straight at Xia Qingcheng. Her eyes go totally wide. A shadow clone was hiding there the whole time. This crazy brat actually used his own body as bait just to create an opening. She leaps off its back, barely dodging the deadly stab. She lands safely, but still gives him major credit. Sneaky move. Almost got me. Yun quickly switches weapons to strike. As expected of Instructor Xia, dodging from that impossible angle, he pours raw power directly into his sword. Too bad, my shadow ghost was also just bait. This next attack leaves absolutely zero room to dodge. Fusion Art Magic, Swordsman Flame / meets Mage Fireball. Yun Chen swings hard. Demon Flame Explosion, but even that won't stop her. Trust me, you'll want to see what's next. Stick with me here. You and I are about to witness her freeze his blade instantly. He is utterly shocked. That epic attack, shut down with one casual move. Xia Qingcheng just smiles, dropping a compliment. A gorgeous strike demands a beautiful counterattack. Then she blasts forward, absolute killing intent flashing in her eyes. Playtime is officially over. She is fighting for real now. Boom, Yun Chen takes a brutal hit, violently coughing up blood. Her speed is unreal. He gets completely smashed right into the wall. He could not even track her blur of motion. His body screams in agony, rapidly freezing over. Solid blocks of ice start burying him. Damn it, time to go all out. Zero hesitation. Yun Chen shifts forms, completely shattering the ice. But Xia Cheng is fearless. She instantly blinks right beside him. Under 5 minutes into his new form, she pins him and punches him again. Down below, little Yu watches this pure madness. Totally stunned. They are fighting in the Dark Knight Empress's actual treasure vault. That wall uses legendary materials, yet they cracked it. Little Link cannot believe his eyes. They are not even at full power. The master is officially dead serious now. Yun Chen's face darkens, gritting his teeth as he fights through the insane pain. Yet, he forces a wild grin to praise her. That speed is absolutely insane. Mentally, he calculates his odds. Dodging is impossible. But if he activates the myriad cycle state, he can finally track her lightning-fast moves. King Zhang is genuinely impressed. Not bad for a kid barely in the level 60s. Solid power. The main body definitely picked a winner. She admits he is the real deal. But to clear this test, he will have to push his limits way past the breaking point. Now watch closely, because things are about to escalate. He suddenly grabs her wrist super tight. Time to turn up the heat. He instantly triggers his fusion art. Mage Fireball combined with Magic Swordsman Flame Boost. Chaos Demon Flame. A massive fire blast erupts, ready to swallow absolutely everything. Qingcheng leaps back, totally stunned. Is this crazy kid seriously using a kamikaze self-destruct move? Seeing Yun Chen slam his staff down, she pauses. Wait, something is off. He does not have a single burn mark on him. It finally clicks. That is his secret. For fire resistance, even she cannot beat this guy. Taking the compliment, Yun Chen shouts his thanks while instantly casting his next massive spell. Boom. Countless tentacles erupt. Fusion Art Druid entangling roots completely mixed with mage overgrowth. Riding a writhing tentacle, he commands the python-like vines to strike with insane speed. Rapid cast. Dual cast. The tentacles explode into pure chaos, heavily shrinking the battlefield. But honestly, this still does not faze her. Qingcheng dashes straight toward Yun Chen, like absolutely nothing is standing in her way. Messing up the terrain to nerf her speed? Brilliant strategy. She moves at breakneck pace, but cannot completely flip the table just yet. We both know he is not done. Yun Chen smugly summons 2 fire puppets. Qingcheng instantly conjures a huge ice shield. She is sick of this trick. The puppet attacks are completely useless against her defense. In a heartbeat, Her sharp ice spikes absolutely obliterate them. They pierce right through his giant tentacles. Seeing things go south, Yun Chen immediately bails. Jia Chang refuses to let him run. She leaps high. But suddenly, right where she is landing, a deadly landmine appears on the tentacle. It starts beeping wildly. Chang realizes too late. It is a trap. A massive explosion rips the air. Luckily, she manages to dodge just in time. She secures her landing. Completely unaware she just stepped onto another mine, the very second her feet touched down. Glancing up, she sees landmines rigged across every single tentacle. Pure chaos. This brat is actually making it insanely hard to keep her guard up. Brutal explosions start popping off non-stop, one after another. Chain fireball, mixed with mechanic hazard devices, creates endless firebombs. But as the thick smoke clears, Chang is still standing tall. Her epic summoned ice wings blocked almost the entire devastating blast. Even covered in scratches, she gives him huge credit. Flawlessly combining different skills to support each other like that is top-tier play. Chang finally withdraws her wings. At the same level, he would be her absolute worst nightmare to fight. The main body truly found herself a terrifyingly powerful disciple. His red staff, with the glowing green gem, starts absorbing pure black energy right now. Yun Chen throws his arms wide. Behind the blinding light, gigantic hands appear. Shaman Free Wind plus Mage Tornado. You and I are witnessing his master stroke. Zero escape routes. Chang looks totally startled, clenching her fists as she steps backward. This is bad. I need to fall back. Yun Chen activates his Eye of the Night, his gaze turning razor sharp. Stick with me here. She freezes for a second. The Dark Lady's Eye of the Night? Nowhere to run now. Didn't expect that trick. It only paralyzes her for a heartbeat, but in a high-tier battle, that is more than enough time to cast a spell. Absolute chaos erupts. Massive blasts of scorching blue flame rain down from the sky. She holds her ground, facing the onslaught head-on. Celestial Hurricane. Chang quickly analyzes the attack. Those fire clones and traps? Not just for cover. They were setting the stage to supercharge his speed, using wild wind to completely fuel the raging fire. An attack with this insane level of range and intensity? Yeah, that easily shuts down her movement. A finishing move? Not bad. Then, a black-gloved hand slowly draws a blade, glowing with sharp blue light, straight from a purple sheath. She smirks. But hey, for better or worse, I am still your master. If I could not handle a move like this, Chang swings her weapon with absolute, overwhelming force. Blinding blue energy erupts, slicing space itself into cross-shaped fragments. She finishes her sentence. I would simply die of embarrassment. Yun Chen is absolutely stunned. He throws a hand up, desperately shielding his eyes from the blinding, intense glare. Now, pay close attention. The air crackles with terrifying energy. Is this teacher Xia's true, unstoppable power? Space literally fractures around them. The test is over. Yun Chen touches down gently. That entire attack? Erased with one single slash. Chang stands there, holding a purple sword pulsating with a heavy blue aura. Congrats. You passed. Now, time for your reward. A colossal door looms before Yun Chen, covered in exquisite patterns and radiating a heavy, mystical, ancient vibe. Chang gestures toward the massive vault. Every single treasure the Dark Lady hoarded over her entire lifetime. It all belongs to you now. Yun Chen reverts to normal, with little Yu and little Ling popping up right behind him. He looks completely mind-blown. A lifetime of hoarded loot. Teacher Xia, I thought even you could not crack this vault open. She reaches out and touches the strange, glowing door. The gateway radiates a spooky magical aura. I told you it needs a specific condition. Try to force your way in. Everything inside instantly self-destructs. Mysterious blue and red lights aggressively flicker through the cracks. This vault design is next level. A massive amount of mana flows inside it, moving in a super complex and ultra-precise pattern. That magic flow? It looks like slender pipes, but it also moves fluidly, exactly like rushing water. The safety trigger and the self-destruct trap are constantly flowing and intertwining, completely locked in an endless loop. You and I are probably thinking the same thing. How do they open this absolute tank? Well, you have to freeze the safe mana while simultaneously keeping the danger mana perfectly flowing. Wait exactly until it hits the safe zone, then you stop it. That is the only way to bypass the self-destruct. I tried freezing it myself, but locking things down solid takes precious time. You really cannot just snap your fingers and freeze it instantly. Standing in the cave, Yun Chen processes the info lightning fast. So that is the main trick to this puzzle. The special key is the Eye of the Night. Since this is the Dark Empress Vault, She made absolutely sure nobody but her could ever crack it wide open. She places her hand flat on the door, and her entire body starts glowing. After years of grinding research, I know this magic flow like the back of my hand. Just follow my lead closely, pause the flow at the exact right second, and it pops right open. Yun Chen clenches his fist, looking super determined. Let us do this. The giant door creaks open, blinding light flooding out. All four of them step straight into the vault. Walking in front, he cannot even hide his shock. Absolute madness. This is exactly what you expect from a hoard collected by 72 demon pillars. Endless epic loot lined up neatly on the shelves. He starts listing everything off, getting totally hyped up. Mountains of gold, rare natural treasures, special items, top-tier gear, and insane war weapons. This place has literally everything. Back in the human world, this equals a top-tier national treasury. Ching Chong asks him, now that you own all of this, what is the game plan? Going to haul it back home to gear up the human front lines? Or do you have something else in mind? Yun Chen looks up. We have a ton of gear here, but most of it only works for the demon spawn. Equipping our soldiers means researching and modding everything first. The human front lines are brutal right now. We just do not have the time. So, there is really only one way to use this. He looks at her with rock-solid determination and drops a single, heavy word, war. Jing Chang crosses her arms. Wait, you actually want to trigger a massive civil war among the demons in the dark world? Do you even have the muscle? Yun Chen clenches his fist, planning to boost the lower tiers. Trust me, you and I are about to watch him burn the demon world down from the inside. Stick with me. For mid-tier fights, I rely on myself, Little Yu, and Little Ling. But for heavy hitters, I absolutely need Miss Xia. Little Yu chimed in. Mr. Yun, her clone has a strict range limit. Once she leaves the treasure vault, she vanishes in exactly 3 days. Little Ling agreed. Plus, her real body assigned a much bigger mission. Those 3 days must be spent doing that. He spotted the catch instantly. That was the major flaw. Still, a clone born from a god-tier item? Already ridiculously overpowered. Miss Xia is holding a terrifying stash of treasures. Yun thought, she literally handed me the Demon King Marrow, statue fat, and ghostly flame. There is even a divine beast contract back at headquarters. Add Little Yu and Little Ling's phantom star piercing shadow. Plus this crazy god-tier clone. It feels like she owns every treasure imaginable, just pulling out broken items whenever she wants. Honestly, even Tier 4 Principal Yi could not beat her stash. Yun Chen rested his chin, thinking hard, but the Miss Xia standing here is only Tier 3. So where exactly did she get that artifact and her terrifying power? Even a guy with a system like me falls totally short. No way, it is just raw talent. Yun Chen turned to ask her, Miss Xia, I have been grinding hard, but against a demon king? Still way too weak. We are both in the Tier 3 range. Yet you can literally kill a demon king. Now, pay attention. This is crazy. You take out demon pillars and use long-range magic as a melee fighter. How on earth do you manage that? Hearing this, Ching Chang smiled. Looks like my main body skipped this lesson. Level and class, they are not everything. Otherwise, why would she take a freelancer who cannot even advance classes as her own disciple? I get it, though. Some things just sound like nonsense if taught too early. She broke it down carefully. A Tier 2 versus Tier 3 class user is all about skill power. You probably know the difference. The stat multiplier for high-tier skills completely crushes mid-tier ones. But Tier 3 to Tier 4? A totally different ballgame. The second you hit Tier 4, you get skills with insane multipliers, plus an origin skill holding actual origin power. Yun Chen looked totally stunned. Origin skill? Origin power? What exactly is that? She went on, if I just say origin skill, you will not get it. Let us call it an ultimate or god-tier skill. For most users, an origin skill is the absolute peak of their class. But for the truly strong, it is just the starting line. The scene shifted to a forest. An origin skill's real strength comes from holding a trace of origin power. Origin power is the source forming a world. Basically, the raw fundamental energy God used to create our universe. She continued, it has many types. Think life forms, like flowers, giant trees, or animals, or natural phenomena like water, fire, and wind. Sure, normal skills make those too, but that is just a cheap magic simulation. It cannot touch the core essence. Ching Chong kept explaining. After hitting Tier 4, users learn a specific origin skill that perfectly fits their assigned class. We both know this is insane. With just a tiny bit of origin power, the damage destroys normal skills. More importantly, It becomes a stepping stone to comprehending true origin power. She raised one finger. Master a type of origin power, and you break your class limits. You can shift that energy into literally any form you want. Take my frost origin for example. This looks like a beginner ice bullet, but it is actually a shape made purely of origin power. She fired a quick demo. It left a massive crater on the vault wall. Yun Chen's jaw practically hit the floor. No wonder that countered my fusion skill. It was never a basic ice bullet. The wall behind them crumbled into fine dust. Origin power belongs to the gods. That is exactly why Tier 4 users with these skills are called God tier powerhouses. Of course, massive power gaps still exist between God tier users, and even among demon kings. King Chang said, true strength depends on your type of origin power and how perfectly you control it. Ordinary Tier 4 users just fire the skill without understanding the power behind it. Honestly, some might never grasp it their entire lives, but hitting the level of the 72 demon pillars, everyone there can control origin power. Better control equals a higher rank. It is that simple. Yun Chen finally got it. So that is the real trick. You and I see it now. Teacher Xia mastered origin power the demon lord lacked, explaining her insane record. Stick with me here. Teacher Xia hasn't even hit her 4th class advancement yet. So where did she score an origin skill to unlock origin power? Then he remembered there are definitely other ways to cheat the system, like hoarding special items, crazy gear, or top-tier divine runes. Man, it really sucks that his main body is nowhere around right now. Even the Night Empress's vault lacked that kind of loot. Suddenly, Yun Chen thought back to that crazy origin skill. Wait a second, maybe he actually owned something similar. Cut to Yun Chen flexing, effortlessly moving a massive stone. Perfect. Listen up. I've got a new mission for you guys. He slammed the massive rock down. Baha stuttered, completely shook. A new mission? Inside, he was screaming, holy crap. That spatial magic stone is massive. He couldn't believe his eyes. It was packed with an insane hoard of gold, jewels, gear, and rare materials. Baha grabbed his head, totally freaking out. Did the boss seriously just dump the entire national treasury right here? Yun Chen just shrugged. Chill out. I left plenty behind to keep the kingdom running perfectly. This is only half my private stash. Translation, he totally looted the Night Empress's vault. Baha was absolutely reeling. Good lord. With this much loot, we could build a massive fortress. Yun Chen projected a castle hologram. Simple job. Take this mobile palace and turn it into a flying war fortress. Now, pay close attention. Can you guys handle that? He remembered the system giving him this exact palace as a reward for clearing the 72 Demon Pillars quest. But a normal palace is boring. The crowd went wild. Night Monarch, do not worry. We'll work our butts off to construct a battlefield superweapon that will completely blow your mind. Using this many god-tier materials to build a fortress? This is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. We are totally fired up. Let us handle it. We won't let you down. Yun Chen grinned. Your luck was good before, but now it's blinding. All right, it's yours. Scene shift. Wind howling, leaves blowing everywhere. Yun Chen and Xiao Yu were taking a quiet stroll up a deserted mountain. Xiao Yu finally spoke up. Mr. Yun, I planted secret guards among the craftsmen. If anyone gets greedy, they'll be eliminated instantly. Yun Chen looked genuinely pleased. Nice work. I doubt they'd ever dare betray us. But hey, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Xiao Yu's face turned bright red, nervously looking away. Actually, Mr. Yun, I've been meaning to ask. She gently tapped her chin. You brought me all the way to this completely deserted mountain. Are you trying to do something? Yun Chen laughed. You are sharp. You figured out exactly what I am thinking. She acted super coy. Out here where no one can disturb us? Just a guy and a girl all alone? We are totally going to do that. Right. You pervert. Looking so serious, but actually into kinky outdoor stuff. Yun Chen was completely done. I take back everything I just said. He walked ahead, finding the perfect spot. All right, this is the place. I know what you're thinking, but no, back to business. Yun Chen conjured a fireball. During his fight with the Demon Lord of Explosion, he needed crazy fire resistance just to debuff him. He tanked most of his hits, but there was this one specific move. Even with his invincibility cheat active, he didn't dare let it touch him. Yun Chen compressed his energy into a tiny sphere, and then just let it rip. He only touched that skill once thanks to his invincibility. The terrifying move was called Meltdown. Wherever that orb went, everything just completely vanished. It wiped out a huge chunk of the mountain. Smoke everywhere. The power was terrifying. Xiao Yu looked shocked. Holy crap, that skill is insane. Even a demon lord wouldn't dare mess with that intensity. It could probably damage the 72 demon pillars. Wait, could it be a fire attribute origin skill? Yun Chen remembered Qing Chang's words. If teacher Xia wasn't lying, then the demon lord of explosion being in the top 10 proves he definitely controlled origin power. He flew up, blue flames erupting from both hands. Even though he was super weak back then, this attack was his ultimate, absolute killer move. It definitely held a trace of origin power. Yun Chen turned back to Xiao Yu. Listen, I am about to do something really stupid and super risky. I'm going to spam fire skills until my mana hits absolute 0. When that happens, my safety is completely in your hands. Xiao Yu bowed respectfully. Got it. He spread his hands wide. Time to finally compare his flames against the true flames of origin power. If he just kept testing, he'd eventually figure out how to unlock origin power. 3 days later, Yun Chen was still tossing fireballs like an absolute maniac. Smoke filled the air. But something felt weird. Nope. This isn't it. Something is totally wrong. His fire and the meltdown fire? They aren't even in the same league. Yun Chen summoned 2 flames in his hands, staring hard, trying to spot the glitch. Technically, his Nether Demon Flame is an S-class skill. His flame is top tier. But the Demon Lord used normal fire too. So what do you and I make of this insane power gap? Stick with me, we're jumping right back into the grind. Xiao Yu hands him water. Sorry, boss. I'm completely useless besides serving you. Getting origin power feels impossible for me. Anyway, drink up. He grabs the bottle, telling her to stop apologizing. It is all on me. Mastering this origin power is insanely hard. We are in for a seriously rough ride. The grind continues. By the way, when is that war fortress finally going to be ready? She hesitates. It might take a full year. That project is just way too huge. She suddenly remembers, oh yeah, boss. The 72 Demon Pillars Conference kicks off in 2 days. You are the Night Monarch, so you have to go. Should I get Xiaoling to prep everything for you? He takes a sip. That reminds him about the massive 72 Demon Pillars Conference. Baha totally brought that up before. It happens every 2 months. You do not even need to show up in person. Just use a special device and project a magic hologram. Thinking it over, he looks right at her. That conference is just a boring chat about the frontline wars and keeping up back-end supplies. I already made up my mind to cut all war resources. Arguing is completely pointless. Plus, going means I might blow my cover. His coat snaps in the wind. Time to keep moving. Meanwhile, over at the Descent organization, Lucy stands way up high, looking down. A mysterious cloaked guy drops to one knee in pure respect. She looks super proud. Lu Moling, making you a bishop was definitely the right move. You have serious guts. Gathering all my 3rd transfer materials in just 1 year? I am extremely happy about this. What reward do you want? Cash? Status? Ming whispers back, serving you, Lady Divine Officer, is the only honor I could ever need. I really should not ask, but if possible, I would love to take you out on a date. She turns away, blushing hard. A date? I completely saw that coming. I have tons of fans, obviously. Fine, I accept your little invite. Lucy walks away, but only after my 3rd class transfer is done. I will find you, so be ready to date me whenever I command it. Ming bows deep. Understood, Lady Divine Officer. But behind that fake respect, pure, twisted, scheming. Watch closely, this date is going to be an absolute nightmare for her. Back with Yun Chen, a giant green beam smashes right down from the sky. He is sweating bullets, breathing super heavy, just grinding endlessly. No matter what fire skill I activate, or even if I merge them all together, the power gap is absolutely insane. Grinding forever with 0 progress. What am I even supposed to do? Little Yu speaks up. Boss, maybe I am completely wrong here. Your demon flames definitely changed form. Yeah, but next to that source skill, total garbage. It feels like that one is real, and yours is just a fake copy. Yun Chen freezes. A fake copy, huh? Little Yu sees it. But I literally feel nothing. Guess I was just training totally blind, without looking at the big picture here. Bam! He spawns another fireball. Just guessing is not enough. I need to dig way deeper. He blasts the massive sphere back. The only way to understand this meltdown? Feel it myself. He shoves his bare hand straight into the blast. The black energy explodes with insane heat. He grits his teeth as the pain hits. Absolutely scorching. Damn, that is brutal. Even with my crazy fire resistance, my skin is burning. My own flames are definitely not going to cut it. Literally on fire. He throws his entire body inside the blast. Is this the source skill? No, still not enough. I need more power. Deep in the inferno, he turns bright red, vision blurring, clothes shredding to pieces. He screams in pure agony. Are you seeing this? Little Yu is terrified. Even a fourth transfer expert would never dare tank a source skill head-on like this. That power comes straight from a god. Even with massive fire resistance. Boss, you cannot block that kind of hit. He just eats the damage, scorching heat frying his brain. But he still shouts back to her from inside the flames. That is exactly why my body needs to feel it. The fireball slowly fades out. Face dead pale. He whispers, I felt it. Pitch black smoke pours off his skin. Legs giving out. He starts collapsing. Little Yu desperately sprints over, screaming his name. Pure willpower kicks in. Bam! He stomps his foot and fires off another one. I finally saw a glimpse. I am not collapsing yet. Fireball jutsu. He throws his hand up, fighting for control. Right inside the green sphere, a huge red blast condenses. Face totally flushed, he pushes past every limit. Not enough. Still not enough. Compress it. Make the energy massive. Deep in that fireball, a tiny, burning speck is born. Way smaller than before. But looking at it, Little Yu is completely speechless. That tiny spark feels incredibly dangerous. Is that actually a source skill? Wait, no. It is still missing something. It is just normal skills, smashed together to copy a source skill. The energy drops. He chuckles. Well, for a first attempt, I am totally wiped. He looks so relieved. Zero energy left. He just falls backward. At least I finally managed to scratch the absolute surface. She catches him safely. Trust me, you'll want to see his next move. Just rest. Let's dive right into the madness. Inside the Black Knight Empress's treasury, Xiaoqing Chen's clone stands before a mirror, with little Ling sitting solemnly beside her. The real Xiaoqing Chen speaks up. This is your final mission. Complete it, no matter the cost. The clone just smirks. Don't worry about it. Main body, I have all your memories, emotions, and crazy power. But I didn't inherit your will to live. Death means absolutely nothing to me. She adds. But I can't start the mission just yet. I estimate Yun Chen still needs my help for another 6 months. The real Xiaoqing Chen nods. Fine. The front lines won't collapse in 6 months. But then, her serious expression suddenly turns completely dark. Can you tell me everything now? I still can't figure out what happened back then. Why did I care enough to take on a disciple? The reflection goes dead silent. Raw emotion swirling in her eyes. They're alive. The clone's eyes snap wide open. They're really alive? The real Xiaoqing Chen jumps up, completely stunned. What did you just say? Is that true? Tears start falling uncontrollably down her face. They're still alive. Teacher Xia in the mirror just thinks, yeah, but honestly, being killed would be so much better than living like that. It's a tragic shame. Even after 4 whole reincarnations, I just couldn't fix it alone. Xiaoqing Chen stares at the floor, totally lost in thought, arms hanging loose. If they are the opponent, then yeah. She tells herself, I know exactly what to do. Now watch this shift with me. Back with Yun Chen, he's lying on a huge ice block, while little Yu tends to him. She looks down at him, her heart aching. These burns are absolutely nasty. And that's even with Master Yun's crazy high fire resistance. If it were me, I'd be turned to ash the exact second I touched that flame. She gently picks up a handful of ice. Good thing the treasury is packed with top-tier healing meds. Using the cold lotus jade ice little Ling sent, he'll bounce back fast. Suddenly, he twitches and opens his eyes. Yun Chen slowly sits up, touching the back of his neck. Finally healed up. Man, getting killed by my own new skill? That would have been a total joke. His hand suddenly flares up with intense fire. But the payoff? Huge. He brings the blazing flame closer to her. Little Yu, what do you think of this skill? She just stares at the heat. It's insane. Totally beyond the scope of normal high-tier skills. It's even stronger than standard 4th transfer skills. She glances right at him, sizing it up. But it's still miles behind his origin skill. Yun Chen never takes his eyes off the fire. Exactly. Because this right here is just the prototype. If I keep perfecting it, I bet it'll rival an origin skill. Maybe even surpass it entirely. He hops right up off the ice. Little Yu asks, how do you even perfect it? Yun Chen fires back immediately. Old school style. Torching myself with destruction flames isn't exactly a quick shortcut. Testing that blazing fireball in his hand again. I have to master this origin skill the absolute hard way. Using my own flames to perfectly mimic destruction fire. Get them balanced. Then grind and refine over and over. That is exactly how I'll unlock my own origin power. She looks incredibly worried. That is way too risky, Mr. Yun. You nearly got roasted alive last time. But Yun Chen just stands his ground. Chill. I'm totally fine. As I get the hang of the destruction fire, it hurts less and less. Little you knew she absolutely couldn't stop him. She lets out a heavy sigh. I give up. Guess I'll buy more burn meds. Let's jump 6 months ahead. Trust me, things get wild. Welcome to the Hall of the 72 Pillars. The meeting is packed, and the vibe? Totally toxic. The Night Monarch is out of line. That is 3 meetings in a row he has straight up ghosted us, and he's refusing to cough up any war resources. He's literally provoking us. The other pillars jump in. Lord Devourer, just give the order already. That cocky punk doesn't even deserve to be one of the 72 pillars. Let's just wipe out the Night Clan entirely and let someone else take the spot. We are done putting up with this garbage. The Devourer turns his back, sounding totally unbothered. Oh, you guys seem pretty pissed. He glances around the room. So, who's stepping up? Sudden absolute silence. The Devourer just laughs. Quiet now, huh? You're all real loud when you're complaining. But in a real fight, nobody wants to take the hit. You want the epic loot without taking any damage? Keep dreaming. A cold voice cuts through. It's the 5th pillar, the Lord of Nether Shadows. Oh, that's not it at all. We've all sent massive tons of troops to the front lines. Even our strongest kings are fighting in the human territory right now. We are stretched incredibly thin here. But if you just let me recall my main forces, crushing the tiny Night Clan would be a total piece of cake. The Devourer stares down from his high perch. The front lines are winning right now. Pulling back would give the humans a lucky breather. I cannot let that happen. Duanyi the Slayer holds up some papers. I get that you want to avoid a civil war, but letting the Night Clan slide? What if the other dark clans start copying his rebellion? It'll be absolute chaos. You keep pushing for internal peace, but the humans are the ones laughing at us. He frowns slightly. Duanyi the Slayer, what's your actual point? She waves the documents in the air. You remember Yun Chen and Lu Moling coming through the Void Gate, right? The dark cultists over in the human territory worship you. After all, actually, the exact second they stepped into the dark world, my soul tracker triggered. But something masked it. I dug into it. The Night Monarch's appearance perfectly matches Yun Chen. The Devourer skims the stack. You and I are about to see a massive fallout. Stick with me here. The demon pillars are losing their minds. A human as the Night Monarch? Humans can't use dark magic without fully demonizing. It's a divine rule. Nobody breaks it. She scoffs. But what if he borrowed a god's power? You all know how fickle gods are with their offerings. If the tribute is massive enough, they'll bend any rule in the book. The Devourer nods. He highly doubts a human has an offering that huge, but it's possible. He wants zero part in a civil war. But if Lady Duanyi is talking tough, she needs a solid plan. Spreading her arms, her sinister plot drops. Since their home troops are stretched thin, she proposes pulling resources. A full-blown demon alliance. Just a fraction of power from everyone is enough to wipe him out. Her eyes gleam with pure malice. Naturally, her clan leads the charge. The Nether Shadow Lord chimes in right on cue. He reminds her of their deal. In 6 months, she swaps with him at the human realm front lines. She has zero time to play alliance commander. Tapping her chin, she smirks. She hasn't forgotten the deal. Now, here's where you and I need to pay close attention. She won't command it. To her, he's just some weak target waiting to be crushed. Her demon lords can handle it. The Devourer stands on his rock, purple aura flaring up, looking ice cold. He gave the Night Monarch 2 chances. Skipped the first meeting? He let it slide. Figured the new guy was busy. Second time he dodged tribute. Slid again. Assumed he needed that extra strength to defend his turf. His eyes go pitch black. But a third strike of disrespect? Unforgivable. The scene jumps straight to Duanyi's turf. Demon Lord Biddy is officially crowned the Alliance commander. She trusts him, so he better not mess this up. He bows deep. Lady Duanyi has nothing to fear. Crushing the Night Clan is a total joke. He promises massive new territory by her return, but she quickly warns him not to get arrogant. Yun Chen went from absolute zero to Night Monarch in 1 year. The kid has tricks. Sure, they outgun him on paper, but he needs to watch his back. Duanyi hands him a glowing purple inscription crystal as insurance. It holds her signature skill, perfect for when things go south. We cut back to Yun Chen. He is staring at a massive crater, completely wiped out. Xiao Yu cheers loudly from the back. He finally nailed it. That origin power is insane. 6 months of hellish grinding, and he hit the master tier. Gasping for air, he admits just activating it drained him. let alone shaping the attack. Still leagues behind his teacher, so the grind continues. Suddenly, Xiaoling swoops in, looking absolutely panicked. She drops the intel, the rival clans are moving out. Then she spots the giant crater and completely freezes. Total shock. Did he actually do this? Xiao Yu nods. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't believe it either. You and I both remember how this started, right? Back when they just brought him tea. Back then, he was literally a nobody, just complete bottom-tier trash compared to their level. Honestly, if he wasn't the master's disciple, they wouldn't have given him the time of day, let alone any basic respect. But looking at him now, a totally different beast. He has leveled up way past them. Absolutely, terrifyingly strong. All they can do is watch in pure awe. A human ruling the Dark Knight demons, either epic or tragic, who knows? Yun Chen turns around. So, what was that panic about earlier? Xiaoling snaps back to reality. Crap, she almost forgot the massive news. Her face goes dead serious. A massive army of demon soldiers just hit their borders. They formed a coalition, and their target is crystal clear. They are marching straight for his kingdom. He just smirks like he expected it. A coalition, keeping main forces safe at home while sending a joint strike force. It is definitely a smart play. His coat whips in the wind as he spins around, looking absolutely legendary. Too bad for them. He predicted everything. Time to gear up for war. The scene jumps to the Dark Knight Palace. Yun Chen sits on his throne, staring down at his terrified crew. Dead silence in the hall. Everyone keeps their heads down in pure terror. Only Xiaoling and Xiao Yu look right up at him, ready to fight on command. He crosses his arms. Clearly, they all heard the bad news. It's just a coalition of pure trash. Yet they are shaking in their boots. Baha grabs his head, completely losing his mind. Trash? Losers? Is he kidding right now? Latia jumps in, begging her king to listen. The coalition isn't playing games. This isn't an empty threat. Trembling, she reveals the intel they deployed: 3 absolute demon venerables, 9 lords, 100 elites, countless grunts. Trust me, you and I are not ready for this war. Stick with me here. We are looking at a kingdom on the brink. She checked their guards. Even with Lobo, Bella, and Z2, they only have 5 actual Lord-tier fighters. The enemy army massively outnumbers them. And those 3 demon venerables? Basically invincible gods. They are completely outmatched. He turned, asking Baha about Lord Z2. Baha bowed with pure respect. He is the national tournament champion who replaced Lord Carlos. The guy is an absolute beast. Word on the street? He is just shy of venerable rank. Heavy footsteps echo from below. Purple shoes step out from the shadows, building the hype. A guy with his eyes hidden by hair clenched his fist. My king, first time meeting. I am Z2. I will risk everything for you and this kingdom to crush these invaders. Yan rubbed his chin. Oh, you seem pretty damn confident. You are not terrified of the demon coalition? He thought to himself. This guy is fascinating. I need to dig up his background later. He stood his ground firmly. I am more afraid of my people suffering. No matter how scary the enemy is, I refuse to surrender. His insane spirit hyped everyone. Hands over their hearts, they roared out, let us rally the troops. No surrendering. But the cowardly demon nobles completely panicked. No way. Absolutely not. Do not throw your lives away. There is already a brutal war happening with the humans on the front lines. We need to avoid civil war. We are all demons here. Stop ruining the vibe. Rena chimed in. I think we can still negotiate. No need to make enemies out of other demon clans. If we just surrender some territory, we keep the peace. Surrendering really is not that embarrassing. Yun Chen glared down. I remember that pathetic guy. He is just some wealthy noble. The guy beside him? Probably a rich merchant. Now watch closely, the two sides are about to clash. Surrender is not embarrassing? Give up our lands? What the hell is wrong with you? The opposition fired right back. We cannot win anyway. You want to die? Even if we somehow beat the coalition, we piss off everyone else. It is pure suicide. You muscleheads never think about the consequences. Watching them scream at each other, the situation was crystal clear. The lords wanted blood, while the nobles just wanted to fold. Yun Chen stood up, raising one hand. Shut up. Fix the magic projection within 7 days. Fight or fold, I make that call. Back in his office, he leaned back, chatting with them. I am honestly shocked. Lords like Baha and Pat were terrified, but they still want to fight. Did not have that on my bingo card. Xiao stood across from him. They have no choice. My king, do you know why a new lord must kill the old one? He asked. The Demon King armament permanently binds to its user. So, without killing them, stealing it is completely useless. Xiaoling nodded in agreement. Spot on. If we surrender, the enemy will steal our lands and armaments just to power up their own newly minted lords. Lords are massive assets, after all. They absolutely want their own loyal people in power. He looked totally confused. Wait, aren't Dark Knight armaments strictly for Dark Knight demons? Xiao laughed. Simple fix. They just force someone to mate with a Dark Knight demon. Boom, the kid has the bloodline. I know what you are thinking. How can Mr. Yoon use it without the bloodline? Well, it is because your talent level completely shatters the bloodline rules. He gasped. Oh, makes sense. Xiaoling chimed in. Those cowards wanting to surrender? Just nobles and rich merchants. A new ruler steps in, they pay up, and they stay perfectly safe. They just keep living their luxurious lives. Xiao suddenly remembered something important. Mr. Yoon, you are definitely choosing to fight. Why wait 7 whole days to announce it? Yoon Chen smirked. If I drop the news now, those rich snobs would pack up and vanish tonight. We need time to trap them first. He glanced at Xiaoling. You lock down the nobles and merchants. She bowed deeply. Relax. I will handle them all. The doors burst open. A massive figure stepped inside. Baha announced, My king, Lord Zitu is here. Yoon Chen had questions ready. Zitu, I looked into your past. You almost became a demon lord. You had the perfect future lined up. Then you just vanished completely. Care to explain why? Zitu lowered his head. He stayed silent for a second, clearly struggling. Then his eyes locked on him, absolutely dead serious. If Empress Black Knight asked, I would tell her to get lost. But because it is you, I will confess everything. They stood practically nose to nose. Why though? Zitu explained. Because you refused to hand over resources, cut taxes, and stop the draft. You literally did everything I dreamed of doing, but simply could not, which obviously brought you insane trouble. Zitu was taller, but could not match the king's pressure. And trust me, you will want to see what is next. Let's dive right in. You and I always thought demons and humans were sworn enemies, born just to die fighting, right? He let out a heavy sigh. At least, that's what he used to believe. 2C remembered his family. Back then, getting dragged into the army was normal. But honestly, forcing people to fight to the death just felt completely wrong. He had never even seen a human before. To him, they were just some vague boogeymen in the old history books. But the brutal reality of the draft was right there. All those painful memories flooded back. Unable to change the system, he simply ran away. He left his home to wander the world. While running from reality, he secretly hoped to witness this human cruelty himself, just to prove that Empress Black Knight was actually right. He explained everything, recalling the insane human cultists he met during 20 years of drifting. And yeah, he finally met them. They called themselves Sacred Believers of the Advent organization. Totally stubborn, incredibly cruel, and just straight up out of their minds. But honestly, everything they did was just glorified banditry, doing pure evil just for the sake of it. Complete morons. He watched it all unfold back then, seeing the chaos but never grasping why. He just couldn't wrap his head around it. How could a brainless race with such pathetic strength actually be a threat to the dark world? 2C just looked completely lost. Right when he was confused as hell, news hit that war had erupted back in the kingdom. He rushed back, but arrived totally late. Stick with me. Watch this closely. The humans had already moved territories, and it was over. Choking up, he remembered the absolute grief drowning everyone. But then he noticed a detail. The casualties were strictly combat-ready Dimenkin. The civilians and kids were miserable, absolutely, but almost all of them were left alive. This proved the war had a specific target, not just mindless slaughter. Those fanatic sacred believers would have definitely wiped everyone out. Watching from high above, he realized something huge. Maybe those crazy fanatics didn't actually represent all of humanity. With that question burning in his mind, he started tailing them. Turns out, the actual human soldiers were incredibly disciplined and rational, totally different from the history books, and literally nothing like those psycho-sacred believers. This messed with his head even more. He wanted to find a frontline demon soldier, to finally dig up some real answers. But then he realized something terrifying. Back in the present, he kept talking. Aside from elites like the 72 demon pillars or lone demon lords, literally not a single demonkin ever returned from the front lines. You saw that coming, right? Yoon Chen was totally shocked, and Xiao finally agreed. Sure, they broadcast battlefield footage all the time, but not one single regular soldier has ever made it back home alive. Yoon Chen clenched his fist tight. So that was the dark truth. The 72 demon pillars were definitely hiding a massive secret. Xiao was totally lost. Touching her chin, she asked, "My king, what exactly are they hiding from us?" He answered with dead calm, "The real history of the dark world, and the absolute truth about humanity." Yun Chen glanced right at her. He asked what the human world was really like. Xiao thought for a second, casually replying that aside from looks, food, and daily habits, honestly, humans weren't that different from demons. It was absolutely unbelievable. Baha screamed out, "No way. Humans were obvious savage monsters. Literally every demon knew that. How could evil humans be like them?" Yun Chen stayed completely calm, breaking it down. "Baha." He fully expected that exact reaction. "Leah, Alan, Bella, before visiting the human world, you guys probably thought the exact same thing as him, didn't you?" The girls nodded immediately. "Yeah, exactly. Back then, they totally viewed humans as nothing but twisted, pure evil creatures. Down in the dark world, the only humans they ever encountered were absolute lunatics like the sacred believers. But in real battles, soldiers actually hesitate to kill once they realize humans have genuine feelings, just like demons. Hitting the front lines and clashing face to face, these soldiers quickly realize humanity is absolutely nothing like the brainwashing propaganda. Sure, out on the battlefield, demons and humans brutally slaughter each other for a million different reasons. Even if some keep their sanity early on, watching their best friends die eventually lets pure hatred take the wheel. But still, the second they realize their enemy isn't just some totally mindless monster, they inevitably start questioning what the hell this entire war is even for. Yun Chen stared straight at Baha. They might actually try to talk things out to stop the violence, or just completely bail on the war. Because honestly, nobody wants to die. Baha stood there entirely stunned. Yun Chen kept pushing. If that truth ever spreads back to the dark world, it would instantly shatter the Demonkin's core beliefs. It would completely shake the foundation of the ruling class, since their entire power relies on absolute mind control over the masses. So, what do you and I take from this? The 72 demon pillars are terrified, ruthlessly banning any frontline soldier from ever coming home to hide the truth. Let's dive in. They're ending this problem immediately. Baha grabbed his head, totally lost and in deep denial. He yelled out, "This is pure madness. You might be our king, but I absolutely cannot accept this." Then Louis jumped in. "I totally refused to believe it at first too. But after seeing those human soldiers up close, they weren't what we thought. I realized we've been played." He remembered walking into a destroyed library. "I searched the whole place and found massive piles of books about humanity's cruel acts. But weirdly, no specific details. Even when I actually found a detailed record, I'd go check the real location and find absolutely nothing. Not a single trace of humans anywhere." He definitely wasn't joking around. He was dead serious. All of those missing clues just made me completely sure of my theory. I'd heard the new king was a total weirdo. So, honestly, pure curiosity brought me back here just to finally meet you. Yun Chen just watched them argue in total silence. "So, you're telling me the lords of the 72 demon pillars actually want this massive war? But what do they even get out of it?" "No clue." Yun Chen finally spoke up. "That is exactly what I'm trying to figure out right now." His cyber brain was working overtime. Thinking out loud, he said, "The dark world is overflowing with way more demonic energy than the human world. So why attack them with everything?" He sighed. "Overthinking won't help us now. Our absolute top priority is our nation's survival." He said that, but honestly, he already had a rough theory. Now, watch closely. The real reason was something only the 72 demon pillars knew for sure. News about the Demon Alliance spread through the Dark Knight clan like wildfire. Some folks were totally ready to fight, donating cash to the treasury to protect this peaceful life we finally just got. But then there's a massive mob at the city gate, desperately trying to bail out, screaming to surrender, dragging their elders and kids to hide far away. Though honestly, most of the demon kin just sat back to see how things would play out first. 7 days went by in an absolute flash. Yun Chen stood tall on the high platform, flanked right by 2 flying camera drones. The massive crowd down below stared straight up at their boss. The entire Dark Knight clan was completely stressing out. Tons of people flocked to the capital to witness it live. Since everyone couldn't fit, they literally slapped giant broadcast screens onto walls everywhere else. People stared at the projections, every single eye locked onto the square. "You and I are about to witness his masterclass response." Yun Chen looked down, dropping a massive figurative bomb. "I bet you all know exactly what's up. The reason I fired up these magic screens across the whole country today? It's all because of the Demon Coalition. But before I make my final call, I have a few things to say." The demon citizens stared at their king, completely locked in. "We demon kin have been bled totally dry fueling these endless wars. Every single region got hit with insane taxes, and they forced innocent people to enlist. Our Dark Knight clan went through the exact same thing. But the difference? Ever since that massive battle 4 years ago, our reputation tanked. Other tribes treated us like absolute dirt just to force us to cough up resources. We had to jack up taxes and drag people into the army. Back then, commoners were basically just slaves with zero rights. The second war started, you guys got thrown straight to the absolute front lines. Our country was already falling apart, and life just became pure misery. Yun Chen suddenly raised his voice. The crowd's blood began to boil. In a nightmare like that, even just chilling with family or eating a full meal became a total luxury. Yun Chen turned his volume up another notch. But now, it's completely different. Let me ask you all one simple question. In the 6 months since I became your king, how has life been? The crowd erupted, screaming back, freaking awesome. We're eating so well, and nobody is stressing about drafts. Our demon buddies in other places are definitely jealous as hell right now. We are super grateful to the Dark Knight King. Riding that insane hype, Yun Chen kept shouting. Right now, 71 other demon tribes teamed up to form a massive coalition. They want to steal this perfect life from us, claiming we didn't pay our war resources. He leaned in close, dropping his voice just a little bit. I want to ask you something right here, right now. When our country was at its absolute weakest, dirt poor and completely miserable, did they give a single damn? Did they cut us a break on resources? He spread his hands wide, answering his own question. Hell no, they took even more from us. Give them an inch, they take a mile. They do not care if we live or die. We have to protect this life. We have to fight. Down in the crowd, some guys were thinking entirely differently. Geez, these idiots got completely brainwashed by a speech. 71 demon tribes in a massive coalition. If we fight them, we absolutely lose. Only a fool stands there waiting to die. Yun Chen chilled out and calmly said, I bet some of you are thinking that if war breaks out, you can just easily run away and hide somewhere safe. His voice suddenly dropped super deep. But do you really think it's actually going to work out like that? The haters immediately looked back, pure fear creeping into their eyes. Think about it. When other countries deploy troops, you really think they'll put their own people on the front lines? No. Let that sink in. They just use you as cheap meat shields. Stick with me here. You and I are watching Yun Chen masterfully hype this crowd. This country is their only real lifeline now. The citizens stared at their king. Give up and return to absolute hell? Or grab a weapon and defend their newfound peace? Fight or run? The choice was theirs. Suddenly, a little demon girl started crying. Mom, I hate being hungry. I just want food. Her mother looked down, tears flooding her eyes. I already lost my husband to the draft, and my oldest child is gone. This little one is all I have left. If we go back to the old ways, they'll steal him too. Someone else shouted out, you might think I'm lying, but to escape the brutal draft, I smashed my own leg. Hell, I even cut off my own arm. But when manpower ran low, those bastards didn't care at all. They dragged my crippled body to the front lines just to avoid starving. I sold my freedom to a noble and took daily beatings. Beside him, a shaky old man chimed in. My boy was drafted. My daughter was sold like cattle. Now I'm just a useless old man. The demon crowd went absolutely feral, shaking the ground with raw rage. War or peace? Not even a debate. Fight. Let's go to war. Whoever tries to ruin my life dies today. I'll murder them. The elite nobles and greedy merchants started sweating bullets. Crap. Now pay attention. This is where it gets crazy. The Dark Knight King was hyping the mob on purpose. The rich thought they were safe anywhere. Watching his plan perfectly unfold, Yun Chen smirked. Perfect. Since you made the choice, I declare this kingdom is going to all-out war. But someone shouted, cutting him off completely. My king, you have to hear our side of this. I have a much better plan. Rushing into war is insane. We can easily negotiate a deal with that massive demon alliance. Just pay them a bribe and avoid the bloodshed. Seeing an opening, the rest of the rich scumbags instantly backed him up. Yeah, Your Majesty, just think about it. Hand over some territory and resources, and they'll retreat. Nobody actually wants a war, am I right? The commoners saw red. Without the royal guards holding them back, they would have ripped those snobs apart. Those cowards are all nobles. Just a bunch of useless trash trying to keep their fancy lifestyles. I would rather die than go back to how things were. Yun Chen raised a hand, calming the furious crowd down. Everyone, take a breath. I am your king. I have to look out for all my people. But trust me, this war is absolutely happening. He continued. If you nobles and merchants refuse to fight, pack your bags and move to a different country. I won't stand in your way. The elite nobles and greedy merchants grinned, convinced they just won. Finally. But wait, what about their profits? Doubling down hard, Yun Chen shouted. You can leave, sure, but every single cent you made in my kingdom stays right here. Those words struck the arrogant nobles like a lightning bolt to the chest. Wait. What? We leave our money? You and I both know that's basically a death sentence for them. They thought pure poison but kept their mouths shut. Without their massive wealth, they were just peasants. Running to another country dead broke, they'd be cannon fodder in 5 seconds flat. While the nobles looked like they just swallowed glass, the commoners absolutely lost their minds, cheering and laughing like crazy. The king is an absolute genius. You trashy nobles want to run away? Then get out. But leave the cash behind. Without your gold, you guys are nothing. We take your crap every day, but dodging the draft? Yeah, keep dreaming. Losers. Ragna glared at Yun Chen, his voice dripping with total suspicion. My king, are you being serious? Yun Chen stared back with pure disgust. What? Do I look like I'm joking around with you? Completely crushed by the king's overwhelming killer aura, he dropped to his knees and yelled loudly. If your majesty is determined, I swear to fight until the bitter end. Hearing that surrender, the other nobles were totally shook. They couldn't believe their ears. Lord Ragna actually gave in. How is that even possible? Looking at his massive assets, the guy's wealth rivals an entire country. A guy like him fighting alongside peasants? He's definitely faking it. Still, some bystanders secretly agreed it was a very smart play. Exactly. This new king is completely ruthless. Going head-to-head with a guy like that never ends well. The nobles placed hands over their hearts, dropping to their knees in perfect sync. We swear to fight to the death for our king. But despite that epic oath they just screamed, deep down, not a single one was actually on board. I'll just pretend I'm down for war, then secretly smuggle my assets out. As long as I have my gold, I'm a king anywhere. Ragna's inner thoughts were seriously twisted. War? That is just a problem for peasants. Thinking he just hatched the perfect scheme, he chuckled inside. What a bunch of morons. If the king announced it publicly, he's obviously prepared for runners. Trying to move assets right now? Way too late. He was totally smug. I am on a whole different level than you losers. Just in case, I prepped my escape 2 days ago. My guys should already be at the border. But trust me, you and I know this escape plan will backfire tonight. Go ahead and defend this broken, empty country all by yourself. He thinks he outsmarted the Dark King. But stick with me, karma is about to strike. Suddenly, a minion screamed out. Bad news, Lord Ragna. Annoyed by the panic, Ragna snapped back. Why are you making so much noise? But the frantic goon didn't even wait for permission to keep screaming. The guards escorting our assets. They totally betrayed us. Everything is gone. Ragna absolutely lost his mind. What? Right then, an entire swarm of panicked minions crashed into the room, rushing to their masters. My lord, disaster. The royal guards just ambushed us and seized the entire warehouse. Anyone moving assets gets executed on the spot. We couldn't fight back. The terrified demon nobles quickly shifted from pure panic into absolute, boiling rage. How did this happen? We just got robbed dry. They started cursing like crazy. Damn it all. How dare they ambush our stash while we were gone? Those bastards. Our grand plan is completely crushed. Sitting there like he planned it all, Yun Chen just flashed a smug, winning smirk. Catching that cocky look, Ragna instantly connected the dots. This was entirely the Dark King's brutal setup. I never imagined he could calculate things this far out. Luckily, I played it smart. I always keep a top-tier spatial magic stone hidden right on me. Sweating bullets, he desperately tried to chill out. This tiny stone packs 30% of my total fortune. With this alone, I can definitely bounce back later. Now watch this. He actually thinks he's escaping tonight. But, mid-thought, a heavy hand violently swooped down from above, viciously crushing Ragna's face into the dirt before he could even blink. Xiaoling stared down at him, her hand gripping his skull, speaking with a terrifyingly casual tone. Ragna, seems you completely underestimated the royal city's massive spy network. I know literally everything. From you sending goons to move your gold, right down to that neat 30% of your wealth hiding in your pocket. Completely pinned, Ragna thrashed around helplessly, desperate to pry her deadly grip right off his face. He panicked hard. Alan Bella, what the hell are you doing? But she just kept talking. The capital made it clear moving assets is strictly forbidden, yet you didn't stop your men the second that royal command dropped. That is open rebellion against the king. And as for the penalty? She clamped down insanely hard on his skull and yelled, Do I really have to spell it out? She violently smashed him right into the floor. Crack. Ragnar's skull shattered against the stone. Seeing that bloody mess, the rest of the demon nobles were literally shaking in their boots. He is dead. Lord Ragnar is completely dead. Someone in the terrified crowd screamed out, Alan Bella, how dare you? Flashing a look of absolute disgust, she wiped her bloody fingers on a rag and clapped right back. What is not to dare? You boys want to avenge your buddy? Go on, give it your best shot. She practically begged them, brutally daring the nobles to step up. By the way, feel free to try sneaking your gold out too. That is, if you idiots still actually trust your own henchmen. Hearing that cold threat, the nobles immediately shut their mouths. Then Xiao suddenly floated over, looking completely starstruck. Wow, Xiaoling, how did you get their loyal henchmen to backstab them so fast? Xiaoling just chuckled. Simple money, status, and their families' lives. When you are ruthless enough, blackmailing folks is actually a breeze. Xiao just let out a cute little giggle. You are so incredibly naughty. Xiaoling flashed a wicked wink right back. Hey, I am a demon. Being a menace is literally the job description. Cutting through the silence, Yun Chen yelled out, the little show is over. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for all-out war. You feel that hype too, right? The crowd absolutely erupted in wild agreement. Fight, fight. Back inside, the commander returned to report. My king, I did exactly as asked. I have perfectly planted my most trusted shadows around those rich nobles to watch their every move. Liu Tuxi smirked. Ragnar's mangled corpse is now hanging right over the main gate. I guarantee those cowards will not try any funny business again. Honestly, half those rich merchants are already throwing massive piles of gold at us just to fund this entire war effort. Looks like they are completely terrified. Yun Chen just crossed his arms, unfazed. That is just step one. If we cannot instantly crush the traitors hiding inside, how the hell do we smash the army outside? Then he turned to Xiaoling. What is the status everywhere else? Xiaoling gave him a dead serious look. Overall, the army's fighting spirit is insanely high, but there are still tons of commoners, petty merchants, and border guards desperately fleeing into the night. Since those guys cannot affect the battle, I did not even bother stopping them. Yun Chen nodded his solid agreement. That works fine. Keeping terrified cowards around would only slow us down anyway. Turning back, he locked eyes. Liu Tuxi, any updates on the coalition forces? Clasping his hands behind his back, the commander replied. The enemy coalition is completely assembled. Let's get specifics, Yun Chen demanded. The enemy vanguard holds 3 literal demon venerables, 9 demon lords, 120 high-ranked elites, and 30,000 mid-ranks, plus 350,000 grunts and 50 massive siege units. Baha flipped out. What? That many? So what do we think, can they actually survive these odds? Stick with me here. We only have 70 high ranks, 10,000 mid-ranks, and 150,000 low-level demons. Yun Chen frowned. He knew they were outnumbered, but damn, not by this much. The enemy's main army is sitting at almost 400,000. That number is completely insane. But Yun Chen, way calmer than anyone else. To him, this dark world feels like the exact same old story. The number of demon spawn who can actually fight is pretty much the same as humans. Even so, they scraped together nearly 400,000 troops. I guess that is just the 71 clan coalition for you. The room feels completely crushed by this heavy, invisible pressure. Breaking the silence, Yun Chen asks, when do they march? 2C answers immediately. They already started. They will hit the border in exactly 3 days. Keeping that absolutely chill look on his face, he mutters softly. 3 days? Wow. Looks like those guys just could not wait. They do not take us seriously at all. The old man sighs helplessly. That is exactly it. Think about it. The coalition forces come from totally different tribes. Normally, after grouping up, they should spend time adjusting to each other first. You need to bond and train to actually fight well together. But these guys, they skip that step completely. Now, pay attention here. They clearly see us as an easy target and just want a quick bite. Yun Chen just leans back, hands resting on the table, looking completely relaxed. His eyes stay razor sharp, clearly plotting his next move. Perfect. Very good. Let them try taking a bite. Then, let us see if they break their teeth on us. Their arrogance is crazy. Yun Chen turns to the old man, Liu Tuzi. You have wandered the world for 20 years. You must know a ton about these tribes, right? The old man clasps his hands respectfully. Yeah. And I made quite a few friends from other lands. If they have any intel my king can use, that would be awesome. Yun Chen suddenly stands up. Baha, go get P and Puro. We are starting the war council. Over at the border of the Black Knight capital near Teredo Castle, the enemy begins marching. The terrifying scale would make anyone absolutely shake in fear. Lannis leads the charge, his deadly aura sky-high. Riding a majestic war dragon, he violently shouts, "It is just a tiny castle of the Black Knight demons. Our attack force will completely crush it. This battle ends in 3 hours." Hearing this, the coalition rushes forward screaming. But suddenly, a white flag pops up. Lannis yanks the reins, stopping his dragon in confusion. Huh? The city gates slowly creak open. A few dark figures walk out. Tereto appears with 2 lackeys, hands raised, his voice trembling with sheer panic. "I know what you are thinking. A fight? Nope." As the demon lord representing Toido Castle, he instantly surrenders. The sun shines bright against the blue sky, lighting up the area. Nearby, a campfire is crackling. Inside the tent, 3 commanders sit up high like judges at a trial. Tereto is flat on his knees, desperately begging, "I will give you all the intel. Please, I am begging you. Just do not kill me." Lu just looks down and sneers. "Surrendering without a fight? You are pure trash for a demon, but at least you know the power gap." Sitting nearby is Z, the violent demon. He crosses his arms, flashing his sharp teeth. "What a total shame. I thought I could have a fun killing spree, but you guys barely even resisted. Killing prisoners is half the fun." Barati sits right between them. Taking over a territory with 0 losses is obviously the best possible outcome. Besides, these prisoners are our shared loot. If you dare kill him, I am not going to just sit and watch. Lu smirks, playing right along. Very true. They have value. The high-quality ones can be sold as slaves. The useless ones become cannon fodder for the front lines. Killing them is a huge waste. Z just snorts. "I do not need a reminder." Barati crosses his legs and orders, "Take this surrendering lord to the interrogation room. Record every piece of intel he spills. Throw the rest in the prison camp. We will decide their fate after this war ends." Tereto is tied up and dragged out, desperately begging, "I am showing my loyalty. Please spare me." Lule spreads his hands, looking smug. "I get it now. These Black Knight demons are total cowards. Do they even deserve to be a 72 clan? I will just go straight to destroying their capital. Save their king, the trouble." Zay gets hyped up. "I agree. A bunch of losers are not worth our time." Barati crosses his arms, speaking calmly. "The opponent is still a king. An alliance is never that simple. Best to be cautious. For now, we send out exactly 3 armies. You and I know how this goes. The main force takes Teredo Castle, the others hit the towns. Easy." Z gets absolutely furious and shatters his chair armrest. "Listen here, Barat. We are all demon lords. You just got lucky being commander. Let's jump right into the madness." He furiously grabs Barat's collar, screaming at him to stop playing boss. A kingdom without a single demon lord? That is basically just a pathetic pile of bugs waiting to be crushed. I could spit and drown half their territory. Why respect them? Lule suddenly steps up from behind, throwing his own verbal jabs into the mix. Or do you doubt our actual power? Barat keeps a total poker face, staying dead silent. Then, a terrified soldier bursts through the doors. "My lords, disaster struck. The 2 armies attacking those nearby towns. They are practically wiped out." Barat's calm face shatters. He smacks Z's hand away, screaming, "How? What the hell happened?" The soldier stammers his report. Survivors claim the defense at those 2 tiny towns was completely off the charts. Total main army level strength. We could not even scratch the gates, and they were waiting for us. A massive squad of Black Knight demons ambushed our escape route. We got crushed. Brady aggressively demands, "Exactly how many troops did they have?" Our 2 units had over 1,500 soldiers combined. That is plenty to wipe out 5 remote villages easily. How could you fail to retreat? The soldier drops to one knee, stammering in pure fear. 10,000. Hearing this, Barat loses his mind. 10,000 troops guarding a garbage town? Their main castle just surrendered without fighting. Counting the surrendered soldiers and city guards, that is only 2,000 total. Where on earth did they find enough people to wage a war like this? His face turns dead serious, eyebrows tightly locked. Now watch closely. He calculates his next move. Damn it, they definitely have a hidden agenda here. Right now, I have 2 options. Either we bypass Toledo Castle and march straight for the royal capital, but that leaves our backside completely exposed. Those town guerrillas could ambush us whenever. We have to change our strategy right now. Sending more troops to storm the town just spreads our forces too thin and kills our momentum. The 3 demon kings just stand there, looking absolutely miserable. Barat keeps calculating his options. Initially, this demon coalition completely underestimated the Midnight Demons as total weaklings. They refused to even do basic teamwork. Zero cooperation straight up. They only wanted to crush his kingdom fast and steal the loot. But if this drags out, they will absolutely start turning on each other. Lee had absolutely no idea how bad things were getting. He just spreads his arms, acting super arrogant and scoffing. Just some pathetic cheap tricks. Hilarious. Looks like this Midnight King really does not get it. Strategy only matters when you are evenly matched. Otherwise, you are trash. He vanishes instantly, dropping one final threat. I am going to rip his head off right now. Bharat absolutely loses it, screaming, "You idiot. Stop standing on the sidelines." I was honestly enjoying the show. The Flash-scale Demon Clan is totally elite when it comes to stealth assassinations. Plus, an actual Demon King is doing the dirty work. We just need to plan the victory party for afterward. You and I know that won't be easy. Back at the Midnight Royal City headquarters, the crew is celebrating and laughing. Frontline reports claim they caught the coalition completely off guard. First win secured. But 2C leans on the table, instantly killing the mood. Way too early to celebrate against an army of 400,000. Losing 1,000 soldiers does not even scratch their morale. Zelling puts a hand on her hip and claps back. Still way better than losing. Then Yun Chen finally speaks up, grabbing the room. Either they ignore the casualties and rush us, or they split forces and slow down. We just have to wait for their next move. Suddenly, an earth-shattering boom rocks the castle, terrifying everyone inside. Someone frantically screams out. What the hell was that? Yun Chen bolts straight for the door, yelling to go check it out. Outside the castle walls, absolute pure chaos. Crushed rocks and smoking ruins everywhere. Bodies scattered all over. Down in a massive crater, some guy is choking a soldier, lifting him sky high. Lee smirks coldly. Start talking. Where is your Midnight King? Or I will snap your neck. His eyes are pitch black, radiating pure murder. He is smiling ear to ear, while spitting out lethal threats. By now, Yunan's squad reaches the entrance, staring in horror at the wreckage. Larray slowly turns his head toward them, still choking the poor guy with one hand. He snorts. Found him? Instantly, he vanishes. Just a streak of golden light left floating in midair. Boom! Lee is already right in Yun Chen's face, throwing a devastating punch. First time meeting? Too bad for your head. The walls explode into a million pieces, dust flying everywhere. Regular demons scramble for their lives, screaming that the king is under attack. Turns out those massive wall cracks were just from Larry's sheer aura pressure, but 2C completely blocked the hit. Yan Chen stands totally chill behind him while 2C growls. Do not dare touch the king. Larry actually hesitates for a second. Oh, he realizes. This guy is not some basic guard. 2E gives him zero time to think, roaring out, Baha, give me a hand. Baha flashes in. Holding the amplification grimoire, he boosts 2C's power. Trust me, you are going to want to see this next fight. Alright, stick with me, because this demonic clash is about to get absolutely wild. Jiayu threw her hand up, summoning void chains. Blood-red links swirled fiercely around her as she screamed, You really had the nerve to try assassinating our king in his own city. Dying 100 times wouldn't even cover it. In a flash, she whipped out her ultimate Demon King weapon, the decapitation scythe. Then Zelling charged in, swinging a brutal Grim Reaper axe right at him, unleashing a devastating shattering slash. But Lar did not flinch. He just unleashed his power, blasting golden lightning everywhere. You are just a demon, Lord. Do not get cocky, he roared. A flash thunderstorm erupted, completely shredding pieces of Zelling's clothes. Going full power mode, Lar threw his arms wide open, mocking them. A bunch of little brats really dare to fight me? You all just signed your death warrants. But Tushi cut his gloating short, charging straight in with a rock-hard fist. Bam! Direct hit. That massive punch slammed Lar straight into the earth, burying him deep in the dirt. Everyone held their breath as the heavy dust finally settled. Yet Lar was still standing, casually wiping blood from his mouth. Damn it! He cursed through gritted teeth. His eyes locked onto that floating figure. I never expected the Midnight Demons to pack hitters on this level. That guy is barely one step below a full-blown Demon King. Boosted by that Demon King weapon, he is a serious threat. Plus, he has heavy backup from all the other lords standing by. Lar instantly realized he was in deep trouble. And the worst part? The terrifying Midnight King had not even lifted a single finger yet. Being the king, he definitely holds an ace up his sleeve. I wanted to use a sneak attack to finish him, but getting stalled here is straight up bad news. I better move. Suddenly, Lar noticed Yun Chen had completely vanished. Wait, where did the king go? Watch closely. This is where it gets crazy. In a blink, Yun Chen appeared behind him, whispering things are just getting fun. You are not thinking of running, are you? Hearing Yun Chen speak, Lar reacted instantly, burning a teleport spell to bail and leaving only a trail of light behind. He reappeared way up high in the sky, but Yun Chen was already right behind him again, totally freaking him out. A spatial fluctuation. This monster is just like me. He possesses spatial teleportation powers too. Realizing this enemy was completely out of his league, Lar decided to run for it. Since it is like this, I definitely cannot kill him fast. Time to bounce. You think it is that easy? Yun Chen's eyes went wide with fury as he roared, "You are not going anywhere." He hit him with Eye of the Night, blasting a massive shockwave straight into Lar. Oh crap, I totally forgot he had that insane move. The 4 demon lords below saw their golden opening and screamed, "Get in there and kill him now." Slaying a demon king, just the thought of it gets me incredibly hyped. Cold sweat poured down Lar's face. Eye of the Night is tough, but you are not the Midnight Queen. Freezing me for 3 seconds is your absolute limit. In that tiny window, those demon lords can barely even scratch my armor. But suddenly, his survival instincts screamed that something was horribly wrong. Wait, what? The temperature just violently spiked. Lar's terrifying guess was dead on. Right behind him, Yun Chen was charging up a massive fireball, packing an absolute ton of lethal energy. You and I saw it too. That power left him absolutely terrified. That move is straight up lethal. No way, I absolutely cannot block that attack. The suffocating death aura instantly pushed his survival instincts into overdrive. His mind was screaming in pure panic. Run. He had to run away right now. He had to escape at all costs. Those 4 demon lords jumped him all at once, mercilessly beating him down before he could even defend himself. He wailed in agony. Boom! The explosive clash echoed everywhere as rubble rained down. When the dust finally cleared, Yun Chen looked down at a dry, empty skeleton, totally confused. Dead already? No way. Something is off. He dropped down to inspect it. Someone else noticed the creepy vibe too. What the heck? The bones were completely empty inside. Yun Chen picked up a piece of the demon lord's remains, analyzing it. Was this enemy just a fake puppet? Tushi clenched his fists, roaring. This is the royal city. That guy thinks he can just waltz in and out whenever? It is a total disgrace and humiliation. Xiaoyu put her hands on her hips, sounding bummed. We cannot help it. Looking at his tactics, he is probably a flash-scale demon. That specific clan is famous for being literally unkillable, especially a demon lord. Making it worse, Yun Chen asked. Flash-scale demons are hard to kill? Xiaoyu explained everything. Yeah, you probably know this, boss, but every single demon race has a unique bloodline ability, just like us. Dark Knight demons have that powerful Eye of the Night. Meanwhile, Lar smugly escaped the royal city. The flash-scale demon's signature abilities are Spatial Blink and Life Molt. Basically, every single one has Spatial Blink, but their range and cooldown times depend entirely on how much raw power they possess. Like that demon lord, he could probably teleport from the front lines to our city in 30 seconds flat. Even a sword straight through the chest would not kill him. Life Molt is their ultimate survival skill, and only the true elites unlock it. They literally shed their old body to wipe all debuffs and completely block a fatal hit. Then they spam Spatial Blink to escape. However, Life Molt only works 3 times in their entire lifetime. So what do we learn here? Never underestimate Yun Chen, who stayed totally silent, quietly analyzing his next move. Let's dive in. You and I both know flash-scale demons have absolutely broken skills. Why are they only ranked 31st? He ran the numbers. 1 god flash skill, plus 2 extra lives minimum. Total cheat code. Xiaoling stepped up to explain. Turns out, getting weakened completely nerfs their abilities. A normal demon in that state can barely jump 10 meters. And no, they absolutely cannot spam it. Plus, flash-scale demons are absolute garbage at head-on fights. They are literally built for hit-and-run assassinations. In a fair one-on-one, not tough at all. It finally clicked for him. Thinking deeper, they operate exactly like human assassins. That arrogant demon lord definitely tried to assassinate him instead of soloing the city. Yun Chen slowly stood up, pointing at the floor. He snapped his orders. Stitch those bones back together to hype up our troops. Then, grab every jamming crystal from the treasury. We are jamming the spatial flow of the entire royal city. Yun Chen turned around, his voice ice cold. This whole coming and going as they please garbage ends today. His crew roared in agreement. Meanwhile, back at the enemy demon lair, pure rage erupted. Raleigh, look at this mess. Raleigh's shed shell was literally hanging on Yun Chen's city wall like some sick trophy. You totally ignored my orders. Went rogue, achieved 0, and crawled back here, looking like an absolute loser. Now your stitched-up body parts are decorating the Dark Knight Royal City Gate. Speaking of the city, the vibe over there was absolutely electric. That fool tried to assassinate our king and got utterly destroyed. Honestly, those allied demon lords are nothing but a bunch of pathetic weaklings. Our Dark Knight King is invincible. These rumors spread like wildfire. Barati aggressively roasted Raleigh right to his super gloomy face. Even worse, these rumors completely crushed the Alliance's morale. Especially your flash-scale demon troops. They are absolutely humiliated right now. Watch closely. Here is where the tension peaks. The enemy is hyped, so how do you fix this? Raleigh knew he messed up big time. He barely managed to squeeze out a pathetic apology. Zack patted Barati's shoulder, trying to defend Raleigh. Who could have guessed the city had so many demon lords? There was even one lurking right behind him. Look, whatever. It is done. Pointing fingers won't fix anything now. Time to plan our next move. Raleigh bit his finger in pure rage, his brain frantically spinning. Damn it all. Having a demon lord was supposed to be our trump card. The sheer pressure alone should have terrified those Dark Knight demons. But now that our edge is gone, we desperately need to boost morale. He waved his hand, barking orders. Send 50,000 troops. Split them into 4 squads. Blitz the 3 towns around that fortress. Absolutely crush them. Barati made his choice. The fastest way to boost morale is a bloody victory. The massive army moved out. Out of 50,000 Alliance troops, 20,000 swarmed Ramsey Fortress. The remaining 30,000 split up to annihilate the towns. The map instantly lit up. Normally, you deploy forces based on a territory's actual value. Remote, worthless spots like Ramsey Fortress usually only see about 5,000 troops. Desolate scene. Bare trees. Dead demons everywhere. Surrounding towns usually get just a few hundred, maybe 1,000 tops. But Barati never saw this plot twist coming. Those town attack squads got demolished. The enemy forces were just way too overpowered. The reason was simple. Dark Knight demon soldiers were already waiting in ambush, completely outnumbering them. Hearing this disastrous news, he screamed in pure fury. The fortress lords surrendered just like last time. But those towns had insane troop numbers perfectly set up to counter our entire attack. You saw that too, right? Faint eyes suddenly appeared behind him, completely creeping Barati out. What the hell is going on? Why does it feel like someone is watching my every single move? Meanwhile, massive cheers erupted back in the royal city. We won again. That is the price for underestimating us. Against our king's genius mind, the alliance is totally toast. Lucy stood beside Yun Chen, cautiously reminding him. Same old story, though. Our enemy kill count was a total joke compared to their massive army size. Plus, the price we paid was sacrificing an entire fortress. Seriously, was that actually worth it? Yun Chen reached out to reassure his guy. Look, the enemy is literally here to destroy our entire country. So, outside of this royal city, everything else is completely expendable. As long as we get the final victory, it is just a strategic waiting game. The real plan, before the final epic showdown, we have to strike deep. Real deep. We need to bleed their forces dry as much as physically possible. The old guy heard this and hesitated. But just weakening them by a few thousand each time, is that really going to be enough? Yun Chen rested his chin on his hand, intensely scanning the battle map. Oh, it is definitely enough. Even if the Alliance forces take the absolute shortest route, they still have to drag themselves through over 200 towns just to reach us. Plus, right now, we are wiping out thousands with every clash. Even if it was just hundreds, that math adds up to a massive death toll. Lu Si thought about it, but he was still pretty skeptical. So, what if the Alliance actually slows down and carefully attacks every single town? Yun Chen just gave a cold smirk. Then, they will have no choice but retreat. But before we bail, we drop some insanely nasty traps to cause as much damage as we physically can. He locked his fingers together, looking dangerously intense as he broke it down. But they won't do that. They are way too arrogant to even survive the warm-up phase. You seriously think they are going to patiently attack step by step? No way. Not unless they get hit incredibly hard first. So what do you and I take from this? Winning small fights just pisses arrogant enemies off. It never humbles them. Stick with me here. Yun Chen finally stands up, giving the order. Time to move. Puro. He snaps to attention instantly. Yes, my lord. The enemy army is stacked thick. Over the next few days, Barati throws wave after relentless wave at them. But it gets weird. The main fortress just surrenders immediately, while the squad hitting the town gets absolutely crushed. Sure, Total losses are not massive yet, but nobody likes losing. Staring at the ruined city, he flips the script, trying the exact opposite strategy. He sends his main force to hit the border towns. But of course, things go horribly sideways again. Those towns surrender with zero fight, but the squad pushing the fortress gets completely wiped. All that drama, and the results are honestly worse. The pressure is crushing him now. He can literally hear soldiers whispering trash. This alliance reaction? Exactly what Yun Chen predicted. These annoying little defeats do not make them step back. It just makes them insanely furious. And, naturally, the alliance starts tearing each other apart. They blame everything on Bharat's garbage leadership. Feeling totally humiliated, his hair is falling out like autumn leaves from the stress. Damn it, played again. The guy is losing his mind, ripping his own hair out in pure frustration. Now watch this meltdown. Every single time I send out demons, they know my exact moves. Z just crosses his arms, watching Bharat lose it. I even hit a demon lord in the squad for a sneak attack. But they figured it out instantly. They completely dodged the trap and bolted. Lule stands there, hands on his hips. Hey Bharati, do you think maybe we have a mole in the crew? That is the only logical way they know our moves. Somebody is leaking intel. He shuts that down fast. Impossible. These alliance soldiers come from totally different tribes. Their contact with Dark Knight demons is basically zero. No chance to betray us, and no reason to. He makes a solid point. Then maybe the surrendered troops are scheming? Bharat's voice drops, ice cold. Even less likely, those surrendered troops are stuck doing slave labor in logistics. There is zero chance they are touching top-secret intel. Z snaps, cutting off the worthless debate. Why waste time on this crap? Just forget the vanguard squads. Send the entire damn army on every single strike. With our raw numbers, we can steamroll straight to the royal city. Bharati glares at him, absolutely fed up. You idiot. That is literal suicide. We lose all our flexibility. If they hit us with a massive magic array, the panic from retreating would crush our own army. Then comes another weird suggestion. Well, what if us demon lords personally lead the squads every time? Bharati is fuming now, with nowhere to vent. You seriously think being a demon lord makes you invincible? Sure. One-on-one. Your power could crush 1,000 soldiers. Hell, you could probably slaughter 10,000 demons without sweating. But look at the heavy dark blue weapons mounted on their fortress. The enemy is not stupid enough to fight fair. I know what you're thinking. Forget that they have heavy weapons. How many blasts from a Dark Knight magic liquid cannon can you actually tank? If they fire enough rounds, even you get blown to pieces. Z finally shuts up, looking down in defeat. And what if they ignore the cost and pull out even deadlier weapons? Combine that with tens of thousands of soldiers swarming you all at once. You walking out alive? Lule has space blink, so maybe he escapes alive. He gets dead serious, shutting everyone up. I understand the Dark Knight Monarch's game now. He is using a dull knife to slowly carve us up, draining our forces piece by piece, trading land for blood. But to pull this off, he needs to know my exact battlefield layout. Otherwise, he gets wiped out in a second. A massive war is not just some brainless brawl. Intel matters just as much as raw power. Bharati looks like a true commander here. This Dark Knight Monarch knows our moves inside out, but I know absolutely nothing about his setup. How the hell is he doing it? Meanwhile, back at Yun Chen's spot, he is training intensely with Pero guarding him. Yun Chen is practicing Magic Echo, combining his mage and mechanic skills. Human or demon, it literally does not matter. If they use magic, they leak energy waves without even realizing it. My Magic Echo catches that, revealing their exact numbers and location. Think of it like sonar waves rippling out. I can blast Magic Echo pings 1,000 miles in every direction around me. Yun Chen mimics, pushing the waves forward. But if I channel dark magic and focus in one direction, the range hits 20,000 miles. It drains mana like absolute crazy. Though, the signal explodes from the fortress, rippling way out into the distance. With the amplification tome and psionic crystal boosting me, I can reach 200,000 miles. That covers the entire enemy army. So what do you and I make of this? Using crystals for mana, Yun Chen and Bharati are like reflections on opposite sides of a mirror. Alright? Stick with me here. We are about to witness some absolute master-level tactical manipulation. To spot the fakes, he digs deep. These dark demons share his exact same dark talent, so their mana vibes and demon forms are basically his identical twins. But the Alliance troops? Their energy signatures are completely chaotic and totally different. That guy can spot literally anything, and the Demon Lord has insane senses. One normal scan, and he would be busted in a heartbeat. But right now, They are outside, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of enemy soldiers. The mana here is a complete mess. Getting caught using his skills in this chaos? Yeah, practically impossible. Reading the enemy moves was a total breeze. Now he just needs to send 80,000 troops to patrol vulnerable towns and call for backup whenever. He can dispatch orders using those freaky eyeball monsters from the royal city, basically a magical video call. A wicked smirk crossed his face. With this, he will read the alliance like a book and absolutely dominate the battlefield. Baja started freaking out though. Boss, your plan is epic, but those superpower secret stars are insanely expensive consumables. Running this means burning through 10 billion magic crystal coins every single day. Can our treasury even handle that hit? Yun Chan already mapped this out ages ago. It is tough, especially since Baja blew a massive fortune prepping for war. But hey, they just looted Lake Ka's mansion. Absolute jackpot. No wonder that demon descendant bragged about being the richest guy around. Throw in donations from those noble merchants, and they are golden. A sneaky plan brewed. Worst case, they still have the Night Queen's treasure. Money is not an issue. Young Chen smirked. Now watch closely here. Those double agents he planted are finally making their big move. Night fell. 4 crystal soldiers guarded the gates. Inside, Ortis was soaking his feet, bragging like an absolute jerk. You surrendered losers are only breathing right now because our demon lord is so incredibly merciful. Just keep serving our main army like good little slaves. Finish the war, and maybe you will get your freedom. Rost, shackled, acted super grateful. That is amazing. Do not worry, sir, I will serve you perfectly. Looking down, Ortis just laughed to himself. What an idiot. I am obviously lying. When we win, your entire dark demon race civilians or surrendered soldiers will only have 2 miserable choices. Become our slaves, or die as frontline cannon fodder to save our real troops. Freedom? Keep dreaming, idiot. Rost stuttered, pretending he desperately wanted to spill tea but was terrified. Boss? I heard wild rumors, but I am scared you will get mad. Ortis huffed, totally annoyed. Then, the demon descendant started leaking the spicy gossip. A shadow demon soldier said your wife was actually kidnapped by him back then. And now you are fighting right next to that same guy. Ortis looked completely stunned. This guy usually wakes up laughing, but now he froze before screaming. Inside, he was cursing up an absolute storm. Damn it all, I did get scammed by a shadow demon before, but never knew who. I cannot believe he joined the alliance and dares to mock me. He absolutely lost his mind and demanded the location. Where is he? I am going to end him right now. You and I both knew he wasn't surrendering just to be a punching bag, right? Meanwhile, across the camp, another demon slave was happily feeding fake news to his oblivious boss. In the Great War, those severed night demons invaded you. Even now, your ancestors' graves are trapped on their turf. I heard they dug them up last year. Do you really feel safe watching your back with them around? Toxic rumors meant to tear the army apart echoed all over the camp. That kid's dad scammed your family into bankruptcy. And now you are playing buddies with him? Your poor dad was completely played by that snake. I literally heard this from his grandma's niece's son who knows your sister's aunt. Commander Barat was busy planning the next move, but loud shouting totally ruined the vibe. You bastard. I will kill you. Are you crazy? Bringing up a 10-year-old grudge? Screw you. So, the one who seduced my dad was actually your second aunt. I will never forgive you. Barat snapped. What is going on? A panicked soldier reported. Lord Barat, we have a massive problem. The soldiers just started fighting each other. Barat sweated bullets. Huh? Outside, soldiers threw punches and insults. Bastard, die. You deserve to die. All severed night demons must die. You dare fight back against me. Total madness. Trust me, you and I want to see how he handles this. All right? Stick with me. You are about to see how fast an alliance completely falls apart. The enemy is right there, and these idiots are fighting each other. The soldiers literally paused for 2 seconds, staring at Barat in dead silence. Then they went right back to beating the absolute crap out of each other, totally ignoring him. They were screaming about payback. No one is stopping me. I am skewering you. Meanwhile, Z hung out in the back, laughing his head off. He mocked Barat for leading them into constant defeats. First ignored, and now brutally roasted by his own guys. Barat completely snapped. He stomped the ground, sending rocks flying, then raised his hand and blasted dark energy straight at the troublemakers. Boom. A bunch of soldiers dropped dead instantly, and the whole camp went terrifyingly quiet. Looking absolutely furious, Barat clasped his hands. He made it perfectly clear he was still the commander here. He decides who lives or dies. Anyone else wanting to start a brawl would end up just like the corpses. He turned and walked back to his tent like an absolute boss, leaving the survivors terrified. Then La broke down the insane situation. Yesterday was chill, but today is a literal riot. Someone inside the camp was definitely stirring the pot. Z completely agreed. Now, watch closely. We need to search the entire camp, find the rat who started this, and execute them publicly. Feeling totally helpless, Bharat let out a heavy sigh. The real issue was how easily these soldiers were getting triggered. He thought about the massive mess these tribes were in. Long before the void demons appeared, this dark world was always warring. Demon tribes constantly slaughtered each other. Everyone basically had bad blood. Even in an alliance, they hated each other's guts. The strong wiping out the weak was just a normal Tuesday for these guys. Honestly, this would not be a big deal if they had just trained and talked it out early on to bridge that gap. But they completely skipped that phase. Now, even the tiniest spark could ignite a massive war between the demon tribes. This was exactly his worst nightmare. He rubbed his temples, totally stressed out. With everyone beefing, he had no choice but to delay the attack and start from scratch just to get this alliance to chill. Meanwhile, Baha was laughing like a maniac. The Grand Alliance was literally imploding from the inside out. Fixing this disaster would definitely require a demon lord. The king's master plan worked flawlessly again, and Yun Chen gave 2C a thumbs up. He admitted his orders only worked because of 2C. If he had not spent 20 years traveling and making connections, this whole scheme would have failed. 2C played it totally humble, praising his king. Then he credited his own contacts for gathering intel everywhere. They had dug up tons of dirt on the Alliance soldiers to use against them. Add the bad blood between tribes, drop our guys in to stir the pot, and boom. You and I both know that means instant civil war. Little Yu was still secretly stressing over the situation. Sure, they crushed the rebellion, but the infighting barely did any damage, and they lost a ton of troops. It felt like a massive loss for nothing. But he calmly told her not to be so short-sighted, breaking it all down. Brute force only suppressed things temporarily. Deep down, the soldiers were still absolutely furious, and without a way to vent, that rage was just boiling over. Plus, they viewed them as trash anyway. Yun Chen then asked about their very next target, which city was currently blocking the alliance. Baha already had the perfect target in mind. Get a city. That place belonged to Latia. He thought hard about it. Latia was one of the big 3 demon lords before he took charge. She was built totally different. Massive territory, cities packed with crazy resources, and her defense was absolutely stacked. She could easily handle a massive war without breaking a sweat. Making his decision, he ordered the 2 of them to get a city. They needed to gather troops and provoke the alliance. But if things went sideways, they had to bail. Latia and Little Yu nodded, totally getting it. Back at the camp, the demon soldiers were awkwardly sitting together, glaring at each other. They absolutely despised one another. What was the boss thinking? They used to just stick with their own tribes, but now, they were all mixed up. It was awful. And everyone felt surrounded by total freaks. They could barely stomach their food, feeling sick just looking across the table. Bharat watched this tense drama unfold. Sure, they were still pretty hostile. Integration is always super awkward at first. He kept hyping himself up about this unity. He just had to force them into the same squads. Make them eat, train, and suffer together as one. Give it 3 months max, and they would be besties. He was totally hallucinating a happy ending. Once they bonded, he would have an unstoppable super army. Back in his tent, Bharat laid out the grand strategy for the future. In 3 months, we hit Geta City, a literal gold mine. Trust me, you will want to see what happens next. Stick with me here, we're diving into pure chaos. The vibe? Ruined. Scumbags screaming for death. A full-on rebellion. Screw dinner, let's slaughter these losers. Bharati completely loses it. What the hell now? Internally, he is panicking hard. Another rebellion? No freaking way. A scout rushes in, dropping to one knee. Yo, Demon Lord. The Night King's goons are talking serious trash outside. They want to throw down at Geta City. They challenged us to a straight-up fight. Bharati goes full panic mode. Wait, say what? How many enemy troops are stationed at Geta? He is absolutely seething. Those jerks. We literally just started teaming up, and they pick right now to talk trash? The soldier is literally shaking in his boots. There is a massive swarm of Night King troops grouping up. Rough estimate? Like 70 or 80,000. Bharati is sweating bullets. That many? Looks like they are digging in for a brutal deathmatch. He remembers getting his butt completely kicked before. Usually, those Night King guys just run or surrender. So their main army is still totally fresh. He makes the call. This is our one shot to wipe them out completely. We cannot blow this. Still, Bharati feels super uneasy. The worst part? His entire army heard the insults. There is absolutely no way they'll let the Night King's crew get away with dissing them like that. If they don't fight now, morale will completely tank. Bharati knows he needs a rock-solid plan. Laoi is going to be weak for a few days. So, I need to stay back just in case. Z, you have to lead this assault yourself. He has zero confidence, but backing down isn't an option. Even if it's a trap, we just have to smash right through it. Bharati totally hypes up his teammate. I am ordering you to take 3 lords, 40 high-ranked demon generals, and 120,000 lower-ranked troops. You must conquer Gidea's city. Z has been waiting for this exact moment forever. Finally, some real bloodshed. Meanwhile, Night Kingdom soldiers are flying right overhead. Getting super impatient, they start taunting. Hey, you cowardly turtles, why isn't the Demon Alliance moving yet? They broadcast their voices with pure arrogance. Didn't you want to flatten our Night Kingdom? Come and get it then. Daddy is waiting for you in the city. If you dare show up, we are going to absolutely wreck you. Watch closely. Here's where it gets wild. Ground movement near the camp. The Alliance is rolling out. The scouts panic. Hurry, check it out, and report back to the city. Soon, the massive army finally comes into full view. Looks like the Alliance has 120,000 troops charging straight for Gedi City. No spreading out, just a brutal frontal assault. And the guy leading them? The scouts start stuttering in pure terror. Why? Why is it him? We don't have anyone near Demon Lord level in the city, and our king isn't here either. But the enemy leader? It is Z. He's riding in on a massive war beast. Looking fiercely confident, the scouts literally scream in terror. It's the savage Demon Lord Z. Back at headquarters, Bharati is grilling his minion about the Gedia situation. What is the word? Barrow stands there respectfully. Lord Z has reached the city and started a massive battle. Bharati takes the news with a weird look. Is that so? He thinks quietly to himself. With those overwhelming numbers and a Demon Lord leading the charge, this really should be an easy win. You and I know that feeling, right? Even with a massive army, he's stressing out. Why do I have such a bad feeling? We must win. I'd better prep a backup plan. Meanwhile, at Gagh City, the battle is absolutely brutal. Way worse than anything before. Fire and death screams are everywhere. Kill them all. Demon Lord Z is looking totally hyped, absolutely determined to catch that massive win. He is slashing through enemies, barking kill orders to his squad. Up high, artillery locks onto attack, but honestly, it is a total waste of ammo. He dodges those blasts like it's absolutely nothing, smirking like a cocky jerk relying on those pathetic cannons. Oh, please. Doesn't matter how strong they are, if they're completely useless. If you cannot hit me, it means absolutely nothing. Tak looks up, analyzing the chaotic battlefield like an absolute pro gamer. The enemy power level is way higher than I originally thought. The Dark Knight King actually sent 3 Demon Lords? This is serious business. Even weak lords can camp for a few hours using terrain and artillery support. After figuring out their strategy, Tak's ego absolutely explodes. He knows he has this in the bag. In the end, you are just basic mid-tier lords, nothing compared to a beast like me. You have no Demon Lord leading you, which is exactly why you Dark Knight losers will fail. He charges up, summoning a massive tyrant blood beast. Let me show you what real OP power looks like. Lachia pops up in the air, screaming, I am no coward, do not even dare. As she screams, a red gem glows like crazy. It is the Devil King's legendary artifact, the Ring of Displacement. Blinding light explodes out, wrapping around that summoned beast. It twists into a giant sphere, trapping the monster instantly. Bam! The white orb slams hard into the ground, sending massive rocks flying everywhere. Little Yu senses some serious bad vibes and asks, Hey, what's wrong? Lachia struggles to even speak. I can still handle this. It is my first time redirecting a Demon Lord skill. It drains way more mana than I thought. Tak is absolutely fuming now. Damn it, I got played. Didn't think they had a Devil King's artifact to redirect attacks. That's rare loot. Trust me, you'll want to see this. He becomes a light streak, rushing towards Lachia. Stick with me here. He's ready to kill her, snatch that ring, and hand it over to the Tyrant Demon clan. Instinctively, she throws a hand up to block. Void chains. Countless glowing red threads snake out of nowhere. Boom, another Devil King's artifact. The void chains themselves. He clenches his fists, fighting off pure panic. Another insane artifact? His boiling rage absolutely unlocks his full power. Doesn't matter how many lords show up, they're all just absolute trash to him. But while he's distracted by his own arrogant monologue, a massive barrage of cannon fire smacks him right in the face. Loxia takes the chance to scream out. 80% of their heavy artillery just retargeted to Demon Lord Tak. Artillery shells absolutely rain down on him from all sides. Tak blocks it easily, but then it finally clicks. Oh, so that's their play. Both these Demon Lords are packing crowd control artifacts. They're syncing up with the artillery just to pin me down, not to actually beat me. He frowns, running the numbers. Okay, got to admit their strategy is working. But so what? Most of the city's firepower is totally aggroed on me now. My 120,000 troops can steamroll them. Suddenly, he spots something weird in the distance. Now pay attention. What the hell is going on over there? The entire vibe completely flipped. The coalition is actually losing. How is that even possible? Down on the ground, Junie screams at the guy behind him. Yo, help me out over here. Hurry. But Sokka just puts a hand to his ear, totally playing dumb. Huh? What? I can't hear you. Speak up. Junie furiously curses him out. We are on the exact same team, you absolute scumbag. Distracted at the absolute worst possible second, Junie gets his arm brutally chopped off and dies. The other guy just stands there holding his bloody sword, laughing his sick head off. I hated your face for ages. You dying here changes absolutely nothing. We're still going to win. But suddenly, a toxic purple fog creeps up and completely wraps around him. Turns out, another coalition faction is straight up trolling them now. Finally got my shot. You betray me and honestly think you're going to live? Dream on. Hovering high up in the air, Tak watches all this stupid drama completely unfold. You dirty rat. Sneaking around. I'm settling all our beef right now. My army doesn't even need you anyway. Tak's face is twisted with pure rage, grinding his teeth with every single word. These absolute morons are fighting each other in the middle of a literal war. His eyes glow bright red, totally losing his mind. He screams at the sky, idiots, you're all basically asking for a death wish. Tak clutches his head, absolutely freaking out. If I knew they were this stupid, I would have forced them to get along. At this rate, even if I survive, my entire army is absolute toast. What do I do? What the hell do I do? But before he can even figure it out, shouting erupts, attack, kill every last one of those Dark Knight demons. Charge. A demon army riding savage war beasts storms in like absolute bosses. Reinforcements. The backup is finally here. We can actually win this. Ladia's face drops and she instantly starts swearing. Damn it. 120,000 against 80,000 wasn't enough. They brought more. Little Yu runs the numbers and panics. Reinforcements look like 100,000. We can't fight that. She slams her hands on the ground. Only one option left. You and I know what this means. Channeling all her mana, she broadcasts to the army. All Dark Knight demons, listen up. Retreat now. Fall back to the base and execute the final plan. The well-trained soldiers bolt instantly. Retreat. Move it right now. Move it. Tak, being a tryhard, violently chases them down. You're not getting away. All units, charge. Open fire with absolutely everything. Wipe them out. Epic firepower rains down even harder. Violently smashing right into the city's massive shield, Latia jumps off the wall, with Little Yu shouting frantic orders in midair. Blow the shield and trigger all the explosives inside the walls. Do it right now. The command goes out, and the shield detonates, blasting everything to pieces. Enemy demons pour into the zone, one after another. Finally, the city is officially taken. The coalition takes the W for this epic battle, but the place is an absolute wreck. Bodies absolutely everywhere. A totally tragic victory. Cut to the Dark Council Hall, where a demon grunt is giving the grim report. We've got the casualty stats for the main force and backup. We lost 97,300 troops, 35,000 critically injured, and 20,000 with minor wounds. Demon Lord Barity intensely frowns. What about the enemy? The terrified grunt visibly stammers. Total killed and captured, about 20,000. At least half our massive losses came from the wall and shield explosions. Tak completely loses his mind. Damn it. Who knew they rigged it with explosives? Even the giant shield was totally booby-trapped. It was all the Dark Knight King's genius setup, plus those absolute idiots starting a civil war. If we didn't have backup, we would have lost for sure. Demon Lord Loy throws his hands up. Do the math. We only have 210,000 main troops left. 3 Demon Lords leading the charge, and we still got completely wrecked. Even though we won, we're going to be the absolute laughingstock of the dark world. The argument gets super heated, and Barity holds his head, desperately trying to chill. Even if our numbers are better right now, to hit the royal city, We still got to go through a ton of towns. If we march the normal way, our surviving troops will just burn out. Thinking about the aftermath makes him feel just a little better though. The lucky thing is, after getting owned this incredibly hard, the surviving soldiers finally woke up. They won't dare start another stupid civil war or ever underestimate the Dark Knight demons again. Guess that's the silver lining. Barati barks an order, beat it. The minions obey instantly. You and I just witnessed absolute madness. Stick with me here. He nods, but deep down, he is completely shook. The Night Monarch's tactics are absolutely mind-blowing. He still cannot wrap his head around how their intel failed so badly. Watching his lackey leave, Barrett starts cooking up a wild new strategy. Smashing straight into the Night Monarch's capital would literally solve all his twisted problems. Barat turns his cold gaze toward La. His intentions? Absolutely pure evil. With everything falling apart, only one desperate card remains. Lai feels an icy chill and snaps his head back. Whoa, why are you glaring at me? Losing this epic fight was not my fault. Do not pin this garbage on me. Barrett glares back with pitch-black malice and openly mocks him. Nothing to do with you? If you had not recklessly stormed the capital and gotten totally wrecked, draining our forces, those night demons would be dead meat. With Demon Lord Shanlin leading the charge, those weaklings would never dare fight back, even with backup. Lai knows he messed up big time, completely speechless. Seeing weakness, Barrett goes right in for the kill. I hear Demon Master Camlin is obsessed with his reputation. If he uncovers this total disaster, what happens to your life? Skinned alive at the very least, right? La drops his head, utterly defeated. Yeah, you are right about that. Barati leans in dangerously close, whispering his dark goal. I have the perfect plan. Now pay attention. Here is where it gets crazy. Use that legendary Xianlin technique, the Great Void Blood Sacrifice. Hearing this top secret info totally breaks him. Where did you learn that? Just assume the Xianlin demon clan leaked it. Only top-tier demon lords know this forbidden art. Barat dodges eye contact while dropping facts. Obviously, I am way too low level for this. The legendary Lady Slaughter gave me the intel. She fought the Shenlan demon clan centuries ago and saw this move herself. A blood ritual offering absolutely insane. Game-changing power. Sacrifice enough Cien demon blood, and you can teleport a massive army for lightning-fast surprise attacks from miles away. This sneak attack is completely broken. Right now, 10,000 Shenlan demons sit in our alliance. Even after fighting, that is enough fuel to warp 200,000 troops directly into the Night Demon's capital. Lai jumps up, shaking with pure rage. No wonder you used Shylan demons in every single battle. You wanted them injured. No way in hell. This blood sacrifice drains them completely dry. I refuse to slaughter 10,000 of my own kin. Barati crosses his arms coldly. You really think we are negotiating? Do not forget who I am. He drops a terrifying threat. Must I remind you what happens to traitors? Then he flips to sweet talking. Take the capital, and you walk away with the ultimate glory. You get infinite land and resources, fully restoring the Shyland clan. A brutal trap with zero escape route. I know what you are thinking. The Master's Wrath versus Epic Glory? Any absolute fool knows exactly which one to pick. 10,000 lives means nothing to the huge Cheyenne Lin clan. La sighs heavily, bowing his head in defeat. Fine, I accept. Barat laughs like an absolute maniac. Night Monarch, I bet you never saw this coming. When my entire army suddenly teleports right into your capital, I really wonder what terrified face you will make. Meanwhile, down in the city square, troops gather for orders. The Sheen demons are ridiculously hyped up. Lord Lillet is finally unleashing us. We are not cowards like those weak demon clans. Victory is an absolute guarantee. When we win, Lord Lay better reward us big. But slowly, a sinister red aura surrounds Layli. I am sorry, but this is the price. Clenching his fists, he whispers, victory always requires stepping stones. A blood sacrifice circle violently forms. The clansmen shriek in pure agony, as their very essence is completely sucked dry. Makes you sick, right?